Hello, everyone, and welcome back into round 9 of the 2024 RaceFactory Gaming National Championship live here on Start Your Systems TV. I am Kellen Brower, joining you solo here tonight for the Unadilla National round 9 of 11 in this 2024 championship. I know no Andrew Wood here, but hey, he carried the stream all by himself 2.5 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now, whatever it was. So I think I can return the favor. Unfortunately, he was not able to join us tonight with a work conflict, but that's okay. We're still going to have some fun and call some great action along the way. See some of you guys trickling in. Great to have you guys with us here tonight because this is going to be a fun one. We're finally back to get these last 3 nationals knocked off, and we're going to maybe see some championships get decided here in the next couple of weeks. So this will be very interesting to see that dynamic shake out. And yeah, Unadilla, also a great racetrack to cover every single year. The Sky Shot's going to give us lots of dualies tonight. So sit back and enjoy the show. Grab yourself a beverage or something nice to eat and stick with us for the next 3 or so hours. All right, let's talk about qualifying here from Unadilla this evening, and it kicked off with 450 motocross throughout the day today. Seth Shirley fastest at a 2:12.320, just ahead of his teammate Tyler Lang, 2:12.375. Jumped around some servers earlier today, probably going to race EU myself tomorrow, and didn't see many people on, so I wonder if that is lending it to why the times are a bit closer at the top, because we got 5 guys within 2:12s. Not many lap times maybe put in on the servers, but we'll kind of look into that and see whether or not that's the case. Colby Eaglin, first guy in the 2:13s, but he's only 6.5 tenths off of Seth Shirley out front, and he is P6. Looks like we ended up having about 32 guys run laps in the 450 division here tonight, so probably no consolation race. And looking at our 250 class, the championship battle between Seth Carr and Cade Matherly continues to rage on. It has been very enjoyable to watch these two have their fight all season long. And they once again found each other in qualifying. 2 tenths in it between Seth Carr and Cade Matherly. 2:13.992 unofficially goes with the P1 qualifying time there for Seth Carr over Cade Matherly's 2:14.179. Partolo, Jack Mark, Max Wilczek inside the top 5 there. All mixing it up very nicely, and then a lot of 16s, 17s on down into the 24s. And looks like our cutoff time was a 23.570 for 40th, but probably going to have a consi. So anybody back of Nick Niles here to 2:21.7 did not make it in, and will be heading their way to the consolation race. So we'll see how that shakes down in just a moment. Before I leave this screen, let's take a look at our standings coming in. Seth Carr up 21 points on Cade Matherly. Definitely still the closest championship to watch in this title fight for the crown in the 250 division, as they have distanced themselves from Logan Leitzel and the rest of the pack and established themselves as the men to beat in the final 3 rounds of this championship. On the flip side, the 450 motocross series has kind of opened up in the favor of Payson Johnson, but of late, Colby Eaglin and Tyler Lang have kind of been chipping away at it. Does it necessarily mean that Johnson's going to lose the championship? Probably not. He has got a full race distance lead with 3 rounds left to go. So more than likely, there's even a shot that he wraps it up as early as next week. Pretty unlikely he does it today. He needs Lang and Eaglin not to score while he goes 1-1. But yeah, coming up next week, we should maybe be talking about Payson Johnson already clinching this championship around early for his second ever 450 motocross title. And that'll be interesting to discuss as well. Speaking of interesting to discuss, let's talk about this racetrack here tonight, the Unadilla National Track in New Berlin, New York. Always one of the best tracks on the schedule, in my opinion. I mean, the Nationals, they always have such great tracks that it's hard to just pick your favorites, but this one was one of my favorites to come to every single year. Always seemed to race well when I raced the MX Simulator Series, and yeah, going to try my hand at it tomorrow, like I said. But right-handed first turn into a right-handed sweeper before you get to that hole shot line, and then a few corners in, the classic gravity cavity takes over the finish line jump. A couple sections have changed in the recent years, jumping back down to the valley, coming back up around that tree. But then after that, the track is pretty much as it has been for quite some time, up to the back hill, down all the way over by the Sky Shot on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, and so on. Very, very cool racetrack. One of my favorites, like I said. And let's see if we can maybe get you guys to see a little bit of this track, or maybe we're going to get into the consies already. Not 100% sure. What's up, Cody Wells in our YouTube chat? Good to see you. Vijas is here as well on Twitch. Fights Law or Fights Lowell wants to know what happened to Leclerc this year. I asked around actually a couple weeks ago, and I was trying to get an answer as to why Alexis Leclerc has not been racing, and nothing really has stood out of anybody knowing why. My guess is he just got either busy with real life stuff or just realized he wasn't going to be in a title fight for this outdoor championship and backed off the game for a little bit. He's done that honestly 4 or 5 times throughout his illustrious, I think, 11-year career at this point. So it's not necessarily the most abnormal thing to see him disappear, but it is a bummer we don't see the defending national champion out on the track at the moment. Sully, I actually don't know either what happened with Sully. I know a lot of you guys like watching his streams, and he hasn't been around, which has obviously been a bit of a bummer. So hopefully he's okay. I think I've seen him still around chatting and whatnot, but just not around for these races anymore. So I'm not too sure, but if anybody in the chat room can answer, be sure to let me know. All right, we're about ready to kick things off. We've got the 250 consolation race. Should be the only consi here tonight, ready to go. And everyone is lined up way to the outside. No one selected a gate. A couple guys did, and Tyler Nichols on the 73 is off to a beaut of a start here into turn number 1. 4 riders go through, and everybody else heads home early. We only got about 12 of them lined up in this consolation race. Nichols not going to end up getting the whole shot. That's going to go to Jeremy Schiabro. And we are off and running here at Unadilla. It really is more or less a 3-lap race because 2 turns into this race, they're going to drop down into that classic gravity cavity off the hill right here, through to the other side, and lap 1 is in the books. 3 laps to go. Schiabro leads early from Tyler Nichols, Trent Adams, and Cole Gress. I'll keep you guys updated on all these positions as they change around. Welcome to the chat room, MXB, Vixie, Logan, Reith, and King Rider. Hope you guys are all doing wonderful this evening. I am doing quite well myself. Just had a lovely dinner. Ready to bring you guys all of this action. And speaking of MXB, if anybody is interested in that, may or may not be doing a little bit of ARL streaming soon. Keep in touch on updates for that. And be sure to subscribe to Start Your Systems TV on Twitch and or YouTube if you guys want to see any of that action. Because, yeah, trying to diversify the portfolio a little bit, right? And stream some MX bike stuff. I really wanted to get more involved with it, and hopefully that's met with some praise. But we're off and running here at Unadilla. Halfway through the first full lap, and Schiabro is inching away from the field. It's a good fight behind him. Trent Adams, Tyler Nichols going at it. It looks like Nichols is going to get by Adams momentarily. Cole Gress also hanging out in the background on the 143, and here comes everybody's favorite jump, at least in sim, the Unadilla Sky Shot. We're going to see plenty of dualies here tonight as Jeremy Schiabro, gets absolutely turned. Dualies for P2 right there, and someone yarded up, rolled up the windows. Dualies, trilies right there. Look at 117 getting in the mix right there. Dustin Garrett, got more whips getting tossed around like wet salads. It's going to be great all night long. Love to see it. And your new leader looks to be Trent Adams, as going out of lead is Schiabro. Tough break for old Squiddy out front. But this is Trent Adams' opportunity to lead now. Harrison Gafford moves up to second. J.R. Reyes third. And Jeremy Schiabro now P4. And Xander, I believe I did get your link. I had a lot of links rolling in today, so apologies if I just missed yours, but I got a lot of the links that were sent to me. Try to go through the forums, try to go through my DMs every single race day, and should have gotten yours, but if I didn't, I do apologize, dear sir. Fight for second. On is down the inside goes J.R. Reyes around Harrison Gafford. Up and out of, I think that's called the Little Dipper, right? That little canyon at the top of the hill now, as Gravity Cavity brings us back over the finish line jump halfway through our 250 consolation race, and the lead is starting to tighten up here. Trent Adams dealing with pressure. Harrison Gafford right there in the mix. J.R. Reyes closing that gap down as well. Oh, geez. Luke Sheff saying that Sully had a car crash that he was involved in. Is he okay? Need to know if he's all right. We got Whisker Biscuit also hanging out tonight. The legend himself. Yeah, no A-Wood here tonight in the booth with us, unfortunately. He had a work conflict come up, so was not able to make it. Myself and A-Wood both do this for the love of it, really. This is kind of more or less our second jobs, as I work in the IRL media for Pro Motocross and Supercross, and A-Wood has a lot of different things that he's doing, but currently in school as well, training for some stuff. So just not able to make it. Doesn't mean we can't still bring you guys a killer broadcast. As down the inside, Harrison Gafford's trying to get Trent Adams for the lead. Woo! Little nip and tuck right there. Going up the uphill. And that might actually allow J.R. Reyes to get on back by down the inside. Coming into the sky shot. 3 riders coming down the hill. Ooh, big off. Gafford goes down out of second. Adams and J.R. Reyes now lead this thing. And Timmy Briscoe has moved into third. Briscoe from Dustin Garrett, who's in the final transfer spot. Joey Bradstreet, Grant Zappe, and then Jeremy Schiabro landing off the sky shot, all coming into view here. So now it is up to Dustin Garrett to try to hold on to this final transfer spot. Timmy Briscoe is just in front of him there on the number 91 MSK Honda. But Garrett holding tight with Joey Bradstreet making a mistake in the background there. Grant Zappe closing up there on the number 236 Race GFX machine. We got a lead change. Trent Adams went down, and he is in fourth now. He's on the bubble spot. J.R. Reyes takes over the point. Adams now has Joey Bradstreet knocking on the door. Bradstreet to the outside. Adams to the inside. Bradstreet yard sales off the track. Able to collect it and keep going. Jeremy Schiabro went by, as did Grant Zappe, and J.R. Reyes, our leader, goes down. So we have got musical positions up front for this consolation race battle, and the white flag is a-waving. Out in the lead is Timmy Briscoe, and Dustin Garrett folds up like a broken lawn chair. He's down out of second and doesn't even take the time to try to get back up and make it into this race. He's an instant disconnect. And that is a rage quit if I have ever seen it. Tough break for him, but sometimes you got to stay in it to be in it. Timmy Briscoe goes back to the lead. Trent Adams, Grant Zappe, and Jeremy Schiabro. King Rider in the chat right now. Big fan of Grant Zappe, allegedly. The 2024 MX 250 SX East Coast champion. I don't know what MX 250 SX means, but good for him. Gonna have a earful of Jeremy Schiabro here pretty quick on this final lap, and they get together. Got to watch out for Joey Bradstreet in the background. And good to see Luke Sullivan in our chat room letting us know that he is doing better. Finally able to race some sim. Definitely going to need to get the story there, because I did not know he was injured. That is such a bummer to hear. But glad to see that he's back with us, and hopefully we'll see him behind the gate here soon. Car crashes can be very, very scary stuff. So glad to see he's back with us. And we're going to get racing here in just a few moments with 250 Moto number 1. And we want an update from T Films. He wants to know what lap times these guys are running. We got a 2:25.6 out of Timothy Briscoe out front. 2:32.3 for Trent Adams. 2:24.8 for Grant Zappe. That is the fastest lap of the race in this Consi. And Jeremy Schiabro on a 2:32.9, closing that gap down. Trying to keep Tyler Blowers behind him. They got some gap to work with, so our front four should be A-okay here in these final few turns. And through the final couple turns, Grant Zappe is just like, yeah, what are you guys doing? Just leave me alone. Schiabro's like messing with Zappe here. I don't know what's going on with these two. We got dramas, and Zappe is going to tuck the front end in the final turn, and Blowers is going to go by. What just happened right there? Grant Zappe misses out on the motos by 1.6 seconds because Jeremy Schiabro just stopped in the final turn to block him. No idea what just happened. Timmy Briscoe takes the win from Trent Adams, Jeremy Schiabro, and Blowers is confirmed going through to the motos. Zappe does not make it after all. I am so confused what just happened right there, and Braden Castellaneta wants Squidward out of here. And honestly, not too sure what's going on out here right now, but OGBPC subbing up for the 49th month. Welcome back to the Members Lounge, Mr. Braden Carter. Good job, Unk Squiddy is what he says. Uncle Squiddy indeed, and Carter and Schiabro go back a little bit. Maybe the nastiest takeout of the season back at Anaheim 1 as they got together. And King Rider letting me know Grant Zapay is Panda from MX Bikes. Cool. Did not know that. All right, Concy's done, and I think that should be it, unless someone else wants to tell me the other way. What is Caleb Hall going to be on the gate for? I don't understand what this is about. Caleb Hall going to the gate for something. And on a 250F for some reason. So Caleb Hall is going to perhaps show us around this track. Giving us the Tom Vial look here. KTM number 16. Oof, Lane Burks in chat just absolutely dump trucking on Caleb Hall, saying he's practicing for his C group quali this weekend. Tough break. Tough break indeed. All right, 250 Moto 1 is going to the line, ladies and gentlefish, boys and girls. It's time to go racing here at Unadilla. And our whole shot pick tonight is brought to you by the Design Lab Co. Head over to thedesignlabco.com. Check out their graphics and all their cool stuff that they're working on over there. Nick Porter, longtime MX Simulator community member, now making it work with his graphics company. And we appreciate him coming on board to back us on the broadcast this year. So who is going to get the all-important hole shot? Going to the line in 250 Moto number 1, we have got Jack Mark, Caden Speck, Dylan Delaire, Alec Horn, Marcondes Feitosa, Colin Holden, Cade Matherly, Ryan Chelsea, Maverick Snyder, Wyatt Grant, Ryan Swanson, Axel Halley, Amanda Cepeda, Lucas Arriagata, Devin Johnson, Cody Wells, Lucas Bruin, Sonny Spicer, Jeremy Siebold, Jack Gatlin, Jared Gummison, Ben Narono, Ryan Pinkerton, Austin Parlow, Trent Adams, Timmy Briscoe, Nick Niles, Garrett Hollenbeck, Race Cobble, Jeremy Schiabro, Tyler Blowers, Logan Mortberg, Max Wilczek, Evan Holt, Evan Vanderkoy, Seth Carr, Cole Betts, Jax Lindsay, Braden Tharp, and Xander Brion making up the list of riders going to the gate here in 250 Moto number 1 at Unadilla. And OGBPC in chat wants to know who's the most sim racer at the moment, and YFPS thinks it's Braden Carter. Definitely sad that A-Wood is not going to miss out on so many dualies tonight, because there's plenty of dualies to be had here at Unadilla. D Davis, the most rider. Honestly, I'm a little bit too old to know what any of that means. So if you could millennial that up for me real quick, I'd appreciate that. All right, getting some loves in the chat room over on YouTube. You guys are keeping it real over there. Good to see a nice hearty amount of viewers on the YouTube side tonight. Honestly, it's like the Sim and MX Bikes group is split up. We got a bunch of MXB players on the YouTube side and a bunch of Sim people on my Twitch chat right now. But, you know, we'll bring it all together. I wonder if it'd be kind of fun to have like an invitational event at one point, where I pair up a pro in MX Bikes and a pro in MX Sim, and we have a race basically, and the best pairing is the ones that win. But the MX Bikes players have to do one moto and Sim, and the MX Sim players have to do one moto and MX Bikes, and see who comes out on top. Be kind of interesting, no? Sorry, have no fear. AJ Catanzaro's competition is here. 100% guessing that Unk just means old. I know I'm older than D Davis, so I guess if I race Pro EU tomorrow, I'm officially the Unk of MX Simulator. But people like to just call me Papa Kellen, so I think I'll roll with that, especially because I got a kid already, and the second one is coming on the way. So I think it just makes sense keeping it Papa Kellen at that point. A prediction for hole shot or for the win? Because the hole shot almost certainly is going to be let's just pick a random name here. Let's see. The whole shot. You know what? We're going to go ahead and pick Evan Holt for it, because Evan Holt made a sick edit. We put it up on the IG this afternoon. Jeffrey Hurlings collabed it with us. And big shout out to Holtzy for absolutely crushing it filming at Lommel. If Havoc actually plays anymore, he's def the oldest. I never actually learned if JLV or Havoc was older than the other. Anybody know? I think I actually met Havoc at PIR as well. So shout out Havoc and the old crew there. Who's going to win this moto? That's a great question. I think Cade Matherly needs to get back in the win column and stop the bleeding from Seth Carr that he has been inflicting on the number 25 machine. We've got a 21-point split in this 250 championship, and it's time for Cade Matherly to get back on track, if I do say so myself. What's up, KCO Dip? How's it going, Mr. Olert? Nut CFB's debuting in the motos next week. Budds Creek coming out to show for that, so we'll keep an eye out for Nut wherever he's at, as these guys are just about ready to drop the gate on 250 moto number 1 at Unadilla. What's everyone drinking tonight? Tell me what's on the desk right now, people. What do we got? We got some water, we got juice, we got a Red Bull. Right now I have just water, but I'm thinking I might go get a Red Bull in a minute here. We got the mango yellow edition flavor, cooking it up. But yeah, anybody having a fresh beverage? There you go. KCO Dip's got a Modelo. Las Cervezas Más Fina. It's more the Corona type, but still good. Ooh, Bud Light Platt, 6%er out of Saru. And yeah, absolutely. We got more MX Bikes broadcasts coming up soon. I think I'm going to do a couple ARL rounds to end out the season, and we're going to cover a lot of the AOMX racing in the off season as well for MX Bikes. So stay tuned here on Start Your Systems TV, people. Do not want to miss any of that action. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is that time to turn the 30 card sideways, get the revs up, and go racing here at Unadilla. 250 Moto 1 is off and running. Who's going to get the all-important hole shot? A couple guys from the outside got out of the gate well. Seth Carr gets into the corner first and pushes his teammate wide, but he goes down. Maverick Snyder through the inside alongside Ryan Chowsey is going to push him out and get the Design Lab Co. hole shot. Maverick Snyder out front here at Unadilla. Chowsey giving chase right behind him. Vanderkoy, Trent Adams, Wyatt Grant all up near the front. Devin Johnson coming out of retirement also in the mix. Good to see him up here, but it's going to be Snyder in and out of Gravity Cavity to lead the opening lap here at Unadilla. 3 Yamahas, Takatoji, EVP, and EVP all at the sharp end of the field as Chowsey lays it down and pushes the nose out. Trent Adams straight out of the consi goes by along with Wyatt Grant. CBR jumping down the hill into 4th. And a lot of guys jockeying for those early positions. So Snyder's trying to take off and run with the lead out front. Jumping into this back section on the opening lap of the race. And he's got himself a 1.5 second advantage already opened up. Seth Carr, 19th after that early fall. He's back there with Evan Holt. And it looks like Cade Matherly's 34th as Snyder lays it down out of that corner. And Trent Adams out of the consi is into the race lead. Are you kidding me? That's crazy. Look at him go. He's up there mixing it up as around the outside. Wyatt Grant's trying to go to the front on his CBR Triumph, I think that is. But we are about to have Dooley City right now off the Sky Shot, and I absolutely cannot wait. Oh my gosh. Can you guys believe how upside down these guys are about to get right now? It is going to be Liddy 250 because it's a 250 class. Adams and Wyatt Grant bring us down the hill on the opening lap into the best jump in moto. Huge whips. We got dualies, Charlies, quadsies. Oh man, look who's getting the most turn. Oh, Triley's. Yeah, look at those dudes. 3 wide, everyone tossing it upside down and all around. The Sky Shot delivers every single year. We still got dudes deep in the field tossing it. Dualies back here. Big row right there. Someone's absolutely upside down. That might have even been Cade. I think he just died right there. And that was insane. Back to the race lead. side by side out front, a little kind of scrub dualies right there on the table. Wyatt Grant down the inside of Trent Adams, trying to take the lead away. Adams swoops the outside, gets a better run up the uphill, and momentarily holds the lead. But this fight is relentless. Who is going to come out at the end of this lap in the lead? Adams still holds on to it. Snyder is trying to close back up and get back in the lead himself. Wyatt Grant right there in between the two of them, as dropping down into gravity cavity, it is going to be Trent Adams leading lap number 2. Grant alongside Snyder, and here comes Axel Halley on the RBT Honda. Inside move for Snyder, trying to get Grant. Doesn't quite get a nose in there just yet. Look at this. 4 riders nearly side by side at the bottom of the hill there. Snyder outside, trying to push up alongside Wyatt Grant. Still has not got it, and Halley slid out in the background, so these 3 have gotten away, and Adams is still leading this race. Snyder outside, trying to square back off and get a run up the hill alongside Wyatt Grant to the top. Charging all the way to the middle rut, and Grant goes defensive to block him, and then they get together, and Snyder is going to slide out. Very fortunate it didn't hook right there and pitch him off. Going through now is the 239 of Cody Wells. He's going to jump down. Looks like he's actually on a number 23 Vulcan KTM right there. Not sure what that's about. Seth Carr now finds his way into 5th. He is flying through the field, and he's bringing his teammate Austin Partolo with him. So Adams still leads right there from Wyatt Grant. And then Cody Wells bringing Maverick Snyder, Seth Carr, and Austin Partolo quadsies off the sky shot in this heated battle for 3rd place on the racetrack. Side by side up the hill, Partolo actually poked a nose up there on Seth Carr, trying to get around his teammate. Now Carr's got to run down the hill. Wyatt Grant went down, and Adams is having an awful time getting up the hill out of Screw You. Seth Carr nearly alongside, gets landed on by his teammate. Partolo had to come to a stop because Snyder almost hit the back of Wells. Then he stopped. Carr almost landed on both of them, and then Partolo had nowhere to go, lands on his teammate and goes down. So what once was a 4-rider battle is now a 3-rider battle for 3rd place. Actually, it's 2nd, I should say, as going down was Wyatt Grant. So up the inside, pushing his nose through there. Maverick Snyder tried to make that pass on Cody Wells. It doesn't quite work. And Seth Carr said, I don't care what you guys are doing. I'm just going to sneak up into here and try to make a nice little pass into 3rd and potentially 2nd if I can't make something go. So dropping down into gravity cavity once again, we are on to lap number 4 of what should be about a 16-17 lap affair here at Unadilla. Oh, our leader is down. Our leader has gone down. Trent Adams down from the race lead. You hate to see it, and look at how close everybody still was. He goes from the lead to 11th. Unbelievable. Back out front, though. Now it's Cody Wells' turn to lead on the Vulcan KTM. And putting about 2 seconds on this fight right now. Snyder having Seth Carr putting some heat on him. Caden Matherly just laid in fastest lap of the race at a 2:19.375, I should say, in P23. So he's cooking, but it's taking him a while to get going right now. So can these two start reeling in? Cody Wells out front, and what's Cody Wells going to do now that he's in the lead? Unfamiliar territory right here for the Vulcan KTM machine. How's he going to hold up against the pressure from Snyder and our championship leader, Seth Carr? Ryan Swanson, Xander Brion now bringing up 4th and 5th behind them. So we've got some changing going on. And we'll get back there and track that in a minute, but I feel like this battle is going to start materializing for the lead pretty quickly. We'll go on board with the championship leader here and see what it looks like from his perspective. As up front, Snyder closing up on Cody Wells in a hurry. Through the top of the hill and down into Screw You to the outside. Look at this. Completely different line for Seth Carr, trying to make the pass in a second and might even bounce his way up into a fight for the lead at the top of Screw You. Cuts back across the ruts. Inside line. Alongside on this Race Factory table, Cody Wells is trying to push him out and maintain the lead, but Carr gets to the corner first, and he's out front. The red plate holder comes from a first turn crash to lead here on lap number 4. And this is trouble for everybody else. We've said it over and over again this year. Seth Carr is relentless when he gets the lead, and he's had some terrific motos where he's gotten out front and putting 30 minutes or 30 seconds to a minute on the field. We'll see if he's able to do that again here tonight in the first moto at Unadilla. Cody Wells now under attack. Maverick Snyder going for him, jumping down into Gravity Cavity into P2. Crosses over to block the line off, and he's going to jump all the way out to flat and take that position for himself. So Snyder retakes second place on the racetrack. He's back into a good position, and he is now tailing behind Seth Carr, trying to close up on him. Cody Wells slips to third. Here is Race Cobble in fourth, dealing with some pressure there from Ryan Swanson. Jack Gatlin also in the mix. This is three riders battling for fourth right now. They drop down into this little right-hander before this big table in the back. A lot of people will remember that table from Justin Barsha and Ryan Dungey having a hell of a collision there in 2011. Jack Allen makes the pass on Ryan Swanson. He's up to fifth. Trying to close up on Race Cobble as these guys are about 3 seconds behind Cody Wells there in third. And you can see a lot of other bikes going the other way coming up the hill right now as well. Oh, big crash. Swanson down out of sixth. Oh, and he takes with him the 352 of Ben Nerona. A lot of guys are able to squeak by. Oh, Nerona almost got taken out again right there. A lot of guys getting hung up right there, and this is our opportunity to go back and see where Cade Matherly is. He is now into the 17th position. Ben Nerona set the fastest lap of the race last time by at a 2:19.039. But Matherly has got his work cut out for him, and unfortunately, this has been the status quo of the season. If Matherly could just buy a start, he may win more races, but he just has had no luck off the gate. A lot of first turn crashes, a lot of opening lap crashes as well. He even goes down a few times on the opening laps, and now finds his way into 16th here around Evan Holt. But man, he has got to do so much work every moto, and it's become a bit of a repetitive nature for him, no question about it. Looks like that may have been Swanson going down again, and he is indeed. He was battling for fifth a moment ago. He is all the way back to 19th at the bottom of Screw You there. Tough break for the number 137 Peep.co Suzuki. So now Matherly finds his way into the top 15, sets his sight on Evmoof, the EVP Yamaha, and he is out here letting the people of the great Earth know that he can't Oppo whip. So no Oppo whips for Evan Vanderkoy. You hate to see it, but honestly, you respect it that he owns it instead of saying he can do Oppo whips when he really cannot. Jax Lindsay is letting people know his lag is an issue tonight, allegedly. He says sorry for lag in his name. Colin Holden's putting the heat on Xander Brion, trying to make a pass around him. Axel Halley just in front of these guys as well. So they're all battling. Ooh, Wyatt Grant just got together with Ben Nerona in that turn, and it put Axel Halley on the deck. A lot of guys taking evasive action, including a pass. Matherly trying to get around Evmoof, hasn't got him just yet. Trying to squeak to this inside. Oh, cross jump. That was tight there. Now he's got to the inside line right here. Let's see what he can do. Pushes out just a little bit, but Evmoof gets that jump over the table. Very nicely done. And the battle continues to rage on. Here's Xander Brion and Colin Holden still going at it just up the road. Then you got Wyatt Grant, who was involved in that crash with Ben Nerona. They are 9th and 8th. Emmanuel Cepeda 7th. Dylan Dallaire, a very quiet 6th at the moment. Jack Gatlin in 5th. Dualies for Race Cobble. And Jack Gatlin going at it for P4, actually. And Gatlin is going to make that pass stick on his TM Factory Racing effort around the outside. They have almost reeled in Cody Wells now for third, but Wells has done a pretty good job at just hitting his marks and hanging tough here in P3 on the track. I think this battle will be brewing here very shortly, as he has lost about 7 seconds now to Maverick Snyder. Your leader continues to be Seth Carr, 12 minutes into this 30-minute plus 2-lap 250 Moto 1 here at Unadilla. Oh, first pro race for Cody Wells. Well, congratulations to him for having a hell of a ride thus far. P3. Straight off of Loretta's, allegedly. I don't know. They didn't do Loretta's in Sim this year, I don't think. But good to see another fresh face mixing it up here with these guys. He is about to have an experience behind him, though, because he's got Jack Gatlin and Race Cobble putting the heat on, closing that gap down. So Cody Wells currently 8th in 250 amateur motocross right now. And jumping up into a podium position right away in the pro scene. Guess that shows us that the amateur class actually has some talent coming down the pipeline. We know Arnbrister has been mixing it up. Dylan Roper leading that championship in the 250 class right now. But Cody Wells and Jack Gatlin are having a duel going up the hill for P3. Gatlin's going to try to swoop the corner, get to the inside, and he's done it. Beauty of a move right there from Great Britain's finest. Jack Gatlin on the Unity TM Factory Racing number 29 machine goes into a podium position. And honestly, this has been a resurgent year for Jack Gatlin. He has come alive in the Grand Prix scene of late, and now he is finding his way into some podium fights in the outdoors. This is cool to see him get back up in the mix again. And yeah, iMoto in chat letting me know car just reset fastest lap of the race again. 2:16.085 out front. And yeah, he's got an 8.2 second lead. I think this race is maybe about over. But Maverick Snyder is going to try to keep him as honest as possible for as long as possible. So Gatlin continues to lead. Race Cobble right there with Cody Wells putting the heat on. So Cobble was able to get around Wells. He's now 4th. Dylan Delaire has crawled his way into 6th ahead of Colin Holden. The two Phil Ski and Snowboard Honda efforts. Don't have Holden's bike because Braden Carter still could not be bothered to update the skin pack for them just yet and hand it over to me in the old DMs. But we'll get there when it's time. It's almost the end of outdoors. Wyatt Grant, Xander Brion, Ben Nerona, Cade Matherly has now caught the tail end of this group. He is 11th, knocking on the door for a top 10. Four riders dropped into Gravity Cavity at the same time. Brion, Nerona, Matherly right there in tow behind Wyatt Grant at the front of this group. And Nerona's going to push out Xander Brion and make a pass into 9th. And he might get Wyatt Grant coming down the hill for 8th. Matherly's trying to get all of them at the same time. Wyatt Grant holds steady. Brion into the rear tire there of Nerona, almost stands up Matherly. Now Matherly to the outside, able to pass Brion. He's into the top 10. So this battle continues, and another face is in here. That's Dylan Delaire. Delaire, he's riding the number 120 machine, but he's actually number 229. He's going to slide out right in front of all these guys coming down the hill, and bodying him out of the way was Ben Nerona. Xander Brion up the inside, gets back by Cade Matherly. So Matherly has remained in 10th despite passing someone and going down a downed rider, but Brion gets him right back. So now these two are pushing up to Nerona. Nerona is right behind Colin Holden. And this fight is now turned into a battle for 6th suddenly. What a battle. Unbelievable right here. Ayo! Shout out to Nate Fade. He's back in the members lounge with his 2nd month subscribing with Prime. Said, why can't I just use my Prime sub on mobile? Twitch making me do too much to sub to my favorite streamer. Honestly, I appreciate you that you log into the desktop and sub up for me. That is true commitment, and I very much appreciate that, sir. Look at this. Cade Matherly's weaving through people as Nerona sidesteps going on the uphill and allows Matherly into 8th. He's already gotten by Xander Brion, who is now side by side with Nerona for P9 on the racetrack. And down goes Colin Holden right there on the inside. So Matherly scoots into 8th. Vanderkoy goes by. Matherly on the rear fender of Wyatt Grant now for 7th. No, 6th, excuse me. Matherly is into 7th now. Can he get Wyatt Grant here into gravity cavity? Wyatt Grant misses the rut and pushes Matherly out, so Matherly has to take his sweet time trying to get back on safely in front of that group as Nerona and Brion still battling behind him. Grant swapping into the corner. Matherly rips the inside rut, trying to get up alongside of him, jumping back down into the other half of gravity cavity. Both of them funneling to that main third rut through the corner. What is gonna happen next? Can Matherly get around Wyatt Grant, or are these two behind him gonna start getting into the picture and making this a battle? Tabletop, back into the midsection of the racetrack right here. A little step on and then dropping off the table there into this corner. Right-hander leads you all the way back up this long uphill to the far end of the circuit. Wyatt Grant is riding very well defensively here, but Matherly seems to be getting perhaps a little bit flustered by it, wants to just force a move and get by as quickly as he can, and he might do so on this uphill. Inside, rips that rut well, and there it is, P6 now for Cade Matherly. So he's charged well, halfway point or a little past halfway of this moto. He is now into 6th. Now the question is, can he start clicking off more guys ahead of him? It's going to be a little bit before he gets to Jack Gatlin. Gatlin now 5th. Cody Wells has moved back into 4th after Gatlin went down, and Race Cobble took advantage of a crash to move into a podium position. So right now we have got Race Cobble in 3rd, Maverick Snyder in 2nd, and Seth Carr continues to lead. We have got some young talent mixing it up in the front here. Always cool to see a triple digit like Maverick Snyder having a good run, but even Race Cobble finally showing his potential a little bit with a podium position at the moment. We'll see if he can continue to hold on to that position with Cody Wells, Jack Gatlin keeping him honest. But this man has been so tough to beat. Still just an 11-second advantage, and as I say that, he's through and over the bars from the race lead. He's going to pick it up still out front, but it is going to be really close suddenly because coming through the corner behind him is Maverick Snyder. Alrighty then, we have ourselves a bit of a race. Snyder and Seth Carr separated by 2.6 seconds. They were that close about, let's say, 15 minutes ago or so, but Carr was able to extend his lead out. And they're going to come into lap traffic here pretty soon. 3.5 seconds to gap, and Seth Carr, I think at this point, is just trying to take a deep breath and reset a little bit because he had a couple mistakes that were starting to wiggle that gap down a little bit, and then has the big fall off crash right there, but doesn't need to panic just yet. I mean, the lap traffic will certainly be a bit of a problem for him to deal with, but it's going to be a while before he hits the thick load of it, if you will. Why did I say that? SMX Cum is going to pick that up for sure. It's one of those things that the second you say it, it just feels wrong coming out for sure. And here we go. So Seth Carr gets around that lapper. It's so dumb. They featured me on the channel today, or the Instagram page today, and I could just already hear him clicking it off and uploading that one next. All right, let's go find some battles. Wyatt Grant, Cody Wells, Xander Brion having a fight here for 6th. They drop down into Screw You. Need to have a poll in the chat, and I might go load up my laptop to ask this one. Do you guys call this Screw You or the elevator shaft? Because for TV purposes, they started calling it the elevator shaft, which is about as politically correct as it gets. I didn't think Screw You was really that bad, but hey, you know what? Whatever. As Ben Nerona lays it down. But I've always called it Screw You. What do you call it? As Matherly finds his way back into 7th there. Looks like he may have gone down. All right, so yeah, Saru says he calls it Screw You. Yeah, Screw You. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it, Aaron. I know you. I knew you were there. I knew you'd be there. Honestly, it's probably going to end up as a clip on Twitch anyway. Someone's going to go back and grab that. I think you can. I don't know. I would actually. Okay, good. I'm not crazy for calling it screw you, because last stream out when Awood was streaming, I asked if people called it Shoogs when we were referencing Washougal, and most people said no, they do not call it Shoogs. So then I thought, oh, apparently I'm an idiot. And good to know that a lot of people still call it screw you out here, though, as Xander Brion goes down. Brion allows Vanderkoy, Cody Wells to go by. Matherly was in a fight with him as well. Wyatt Grant back into the top 5. He has been hanging out, mixing it up with these guys, and it's cool to see him in the battle. Oh, almost through the front door, coming down the hill right there. Very lucky to land straight up and down. But squaring him off at the top of the hill. Look at this. Cade Matherly is going to go to the outside, and let's see if it works. Shows us the different options available coming down this sweeper. It's kind of off camber, deceivingly so, into the sky shot. But if you can hit those ruts right, it is so nice to come into that jump and just absolutely lay it over for the crowd. So Matherly still tailed up right behind. I know it looks like he's the number 7 of Wyatt Grant, but he's just running somebody else's skins, I guess, until he can get some skins of his own. Matherly, great run out of Screw You, but doesn't quite get the pass done just yet. Now switches back to the inside, gets the power down a little bit earlier. Dualies, scrub dualies off that RaceFactory tabletop. And look at Wyatt Grant absolutely rip the blood out of that corner right there, man. He went in and absolutely grabbed bones out of that thing. Beautiful turn and holds Cade Matherly behind him. Matherly's still pushing to the outside. Now squares it back off to the inside. Big bump right there before Gravity Cavity. Still side by side coming into it. And Matherly cuts back to the inside to square the line off. Just make sure that Wyatt Grant doesn't have the inside option to take the advantage. And now Matherly is back inside of the top 5. Again, a little bit of a ways to go to get to Gatlin. Race Cobble quietly still in 3rd. Maverick Snyder had crashed and gotten back to about 16 seconds behind Seth Carr. Looks like he's back up and moving. And in fact, Carr had a crash again because he's only 7 seconds out. But it does seem like these gaps are continuing to shuffle at the sharp end. The good news is that Matherly, because of some of these crashes, is only 35 seconds off the lead with 5 minutes plus 2 laps to go. So there's a chance that he can still get on the podium because he's 12 seconds behind Race Cobble. We'll see if he gets there or not. And really, I think at this point, it's whether or not Carr makes a late critical mistake, which is always a possibility. This track is deteriorating quickly. In fact, let's go on board with them and just kind of look at how gnarly it is in some of these sections. Even coming out of Screw You, it's just so bouncy all the way up the hill. Very hard to get traction planted. And then you'll see in some of these corners that he's coming up to, we got really big braking bumps. They're just like, not, you know, chattery, but tall, like bang, bang, and into the rut right there. Very tough to read that sometimes because you think, oh, it doesn't look that big. Maybe I'll just kind of bounce off something. And instead you end up flipping into the corner like a lunatic. That car, little slide out right there, no problem. Pull up for what? What are we doing, Lane? What do you want me to pull up in here? Oh, you made one asking people what do they call Screw You. Got it. I see what you mean. Pull up, not as in like the aircraft is going down, pull up, pull up. No, I'm joking. I thought you meant like, should I put the pull up myself? All right, so let's take a look at the top 20 positions real quick here late in this moto. Seth Carr leads from Maverick Snyder, Race Cobble, Jack Gatlin, and Cade Madley inside the top 5. Wyatt Grant is 6th. Jeremy Seabolt 7th ahead of Dylan Delaire in 8th. Evan Vanderkoy 9th. Ben Nerona rounds out the top 10 just in front of his teammate, Max Wilczek. We also have Evan Holt in the 12th position right behind him. Lucas Brune 13th. Cody Wells 14th. Colin Holden rounds out your top 15 positions. Xander Brion in 16th. Braden Tharp 17th ahead of Jared Gummison 18th, Cole Betts in 19th, and Alec Horn rounding out the final points paying position. Emmanuel Cepeda has drifted out, as has Axel Halley and Austin Pardalos. So some big names really struggling back in the mix here. He ain't no Hollenbeck boy here. Garrett Hollenbeck holding down P24. Good to see the Takatoji 742 machine back out here. Jax Lindsay. You can see the lag almost visually with how bad it's going, and good thing he's met up with Marcondes Feitosa so they can have a mid-off with their ping as Ryan Pinkerton jumps past. Jeremy Schiabro. Jax Lindsay looks like he's disconnected. He's over the lag. He is sick and tired of that McDonald's internet. Trent Adams goes by as well. Ryan Chelsea. Holshotter was in the mix for the whole shot in this thing. He's back in 30th. And yes, indeed, most people decide to call it Screw You. I don't think many people call it the elevator shaft. So thank you, Twitchbowl, for letting me know what the goods are with that. All right, 28 minutes in, almost 29 actually. So we got 1 minute plus 2 laps left to go. And this man, Seth Carr, continues to lead by a pretty decent little margin, 10.1 seconds. But another crash, and suddenly Maverick Snyder is in the mix. Race Cobble still third, and we got a battle for third brewing up. Jack Gatlin closing up onto Race Cobble. The number 60 Allied Yamaha versus the number 29 Unity TM Factory Racing Machine. Gatlin trying to get to this inside and keep Race Cobble honest just up the road. And if he can maybe push him into a mistake, allow him to go by, that's the ideal situation for sure. Ooh, Cobble actually gets hung up, a lapper down in his line, and Jack Gatlin takes advantage. He's through in a third. So now the question is, can Cade Madley reel either of them in, as time has now expired? 2-lap board coming out next time by. Who's that down right there? That is Chelsea, a lap down. So Madley is just looking at the tail feathers there of the 231 ride. That's Tyler Blowers, the Underground RC Yamaha. Gets out of the way nicely. Race Cobble still trying to keep Gatlin honest. Honestly, might make a little sneaky run out here, trying to get to this outside coming down towards the sky shot. Not close just yet, but the ebbs and flows of this moto continue. And if Cobble can maybe wind it up for a good last 2 laps here, still has a shot at getting on the box in this moto. And if you're Madley, you're just hoping, hey, maybe these two start messing with each other and allow me to get up there and do something about it. Woo! Or he might just go for a bit of a ride there at the bottom of Screw You. The crazy thing about Screw You is that, you know, in the game it looks steep, gnarly, big U-turn at the bottom of the hill. If you've ever walked over there in real life, it is, I mean, it feels vertical. It is nuts. And if you're at the top of the hill, you just see someone disappear off the face of the earth and then come back up 10 seconds later. Very honestly kind of cool feature that not many tracks have. It's very distinct about Unadilla. And, you know, we all talk about Gravity Cavity, the Sky Shot, all these other cool places on the track. But Screw You, underrated, sneaky, pretty cool feature. Ooh, look at this. Cobble has almost pulled even with Gatlin again for third. Inside option, bouncing over that little rut. Let's see if this outside works for him. Charging down the hill. Look at this. Oh, Gatlin bounces out of the inside rut to defend. Might not work anyway. Cobble got back to the far inside rut. Gatlin swooping the line across. This is a terrific fight between these two, and they've actually pushed each other away from Matherly a little bit. So what do we got here? What is about to happen in this fight for third as Carr leads by 15 seconds for Maverick Snyder. Then it's another 22 seconds back to this battle. Jack Gatland versus Race Cobble for a podium spot in the moto here, 250 Moto number 1 at Unadilla in MX Simulator. So here we go. Coming down into the sky shot once again. Look at the speed that Race Cobble is carrying around the outside right there. It's like if he could use that speed and somehow get back to the inside, that line more or less should be faster, but I think just he's so far out there. He's almost losing as much time as he's gaining with the speed that he's carrying. But he's pushing Jack Gatland. He is making Gatland work for this thing. And Gatland's making a mistake and going down. At the bottom of Screw You, dreams are won and lost, and in this case, it's Gatland who lays it down and falls off the machine. Matherly up to 4th. Cobble now rounds out the podium spots, and the white flag is waving. Seth Carr is still in the lead on the final lap here at Unadilla. Taking it easy, trying not to jump all the way to the bottom of the hill there. 13.5 second advantage, so he's really just desperately trying not to crash on this final lap. And Maverick Snyder is trying to push him all the way to the checkered flag. And Snyder has been very, very good here today thus far, setting himself up well for a potential podium result, or who knows, even a win could be on the table with the way things are going for him today. When we drop the gate again in Moto 2, Seth Carr goes for a bit of a ride at the front of the field. Nice save. Here is Cobble and Matherly. Matherly is charging, and he's getting flying through those braking bumps, trying to get into 3rd place. Not able to take the preferred inside line at the top of the hill. Half a lap or so to go, or 3/4 of a lap, and Matherly almost goes over the bars out of that corner. The suspension rebounded and gave him a nice little push on the rump. And Race Cobble is just begging Marcondes Feitosa to move. Feitosa finally pulls aside and allows the battle for 3rd to go through. Matherly almost forced the move right there. Launching down to the inside to try to take over 3rd place, and he's got it. What a move by Cade Matherly to get back on the podium and only lose 5 points this moto because of it. Gonna go from a 21-point deficit out to 26, but it could have been much, much worse, and did everything he could to salvage it this time through, which is what he's had to do all season long. But this man just continues to deliver. It is unbelievable the season he's having both in RaceFactory Gaming Nationals and RFGP. About to clinch the RFGP championship probably next Monday, but he might be on his way to putting a stamp of authority on this championship soon, regardless of what Cade Matherly is able to do coming through the field. Seth Carr just keeps on trucking at the front. Moto 1 at Unadilla goes to Seth Carr. Maverick Snyder deserves a ton of praise in this one. Pushed the number 15 of Seth Carr all the way to the checkered flag. He's going to toss a huge oppo whip. Thought he was going to land that. But that was quite sick. And the battle for 3rd coming all the way to the checkered flag. Matherly's got to stay on his toes because Race Cobble is still right there on the 60. Oh, Matherly is down out of 3rd with 1 turn left to go in the race. And Race Cobble is going to take back over P3. Unbelievable how that unfolded, because Matherly fought so hard to get there and absolutely throws it away with 1 turn to go. Very awkward crash, and he looks frustrated with it as well. Wyatt Grant rounds out the top 5. Very good ride for him as well. Jack Gatland, as good as a 6th place is going to be for his points tally in the championship fight, he is going to be quite annoyed that he couldn't round out the podium here in this one, because he was there with Race Cobble. Evan Vanderkoy holding it down for the MX Bikes posse, or the transition posse, because he was MX Bikes, now he's Sim, and look, he's stoked on P7. He should be. That is a great ride, and I'll be sure to go ahead and give him all kinds of praise in the SYS Discord later. Max Wilczek gets up into 8th. 9th are Ben Nerona, and Jeremy Siebold rounds out the top 10, matching his number. Braden Tharp 11th, Dylan Delaire 12th, Lucas Brune 13th, Cody Wells 14th, Axel Halley 15th, Evan Holt 16th, 17th for Austin Parlow, 18th Cole Betts, 19th is Colin Holden, and Emmanuel Cepeda looks like he is going to round out the points-paying positions. Garrett Hollenbeck is so close. He really wants it. What is Wyatt Grant doing on the track? You know that's not the way to do it, Sunshine. All right, looks like Cepeda will hold on to the final points-paying position. Hollenbeck, Horn, Schiabro, Pinkerton, Gummison, Brion, Adams, Chowsey, Fetosa, Swanson, Blowers, Johnson, Niles, Speck, Lindsay, Mark, Mortberg, Spicer, Briscoe, and myself in warm-up. So somebody missed out on the call for this one. Unfortunate to see that. But the winner, undisputed in this one, is Seth Carr. Well done to the 15 Panini Motorsports Fantic. All right, 250 Moto number 1 done. 450 Moto number 1 coming up next, and Seth Carr picks up the dub. In this one, we'll get back into the studio with you guys hanging out in the booth. What's up, everybody? Kellen Brower here. How is your evening doing? 107 of you hanging out. We got 50 over on the Tube. We got 67 or something over there on the Twitch. 54 it says. I don't know. Numbers are lying to me. What is up? Yeah, Wyatt, we'll get the P5 LFG going on right there. I got to figure out what the heck is wrong with my chat box. See if I can fix it right here. Why is that not working? Maybe if I just do a new one. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Wonder if it's maybe pulling the chat box from the old one. I'll pick a whole shot for 450s. Please hold. Okay, so this and that. Does that chat box work? Maybe. Still, I feel like it's still not going to, but maybe we'll see if it starts rolling in some chats there. Yeah, how's everybody doing tonight? We'll pick somebody out. Grosso wants a whole shot for 450s. Whisker Biscuits watching F16 doing flybys. Nice. When you make YouTube vids on other channel, what do you use to record? Honestly, it varies. Sometimes I just use Streamlabs OBS to record footage, and then I'll overlay audio to it. But more often than not, I use InVideo Share. And so I have like a setup that I use for that I think pulls most game footage at 4K for me. Sometimes it's only at 1080p because that's the max the game will go to, but like Sim, for example. But some games go to 4K, so it'll pull 4K at 60 for me. But honestly, I've been kind of annoyed with the frame rates of that and how it pulls sometimes pixelated. So I might end up just buying a straight up capture card and putting it in my new PC because sick of how it is always finicky and doesn't pull and this, that, and the other thing. So we'll see. But yeah, Wyatt G over here on Twitch. Pretty excited about that P5. A very good race. And Cody, yeah, P14 first pro race. Not bad at all. Jackson Mill wants to know the most underrated SX MX race in your opinion watching 2000 SX right now. Most underrated one. I mean, a lot of people don't talk about Pontiac '02, and I did a whole documentary about it. I really like that race just because it's chaos, but some people don't like because the whole time it's like crashing pretty much. But Carmichael loops out and goes from dead last to second. I won't spoil it if you want to actually watch it, but yeah, I like that one. I like 98 Tempe, Phoenix, whatever you want to call it. Jeremy McGrath and Ezra Lusk going at it. That was a good battle. Underrated though. Like I was just good races over the years. Jacksonville 2011, Kennard and Reed, pretty good one. Yeah, a capture card is probably worth it for sure. When can someone beat Carr? I don't know. It's pretty unlikely. He's pretty darn good. Dylan does not like what RF did with this track. Where did I think Kenny places this weekend? Yeah, podium. Probably gets like a decent start in battles for a lead in the moto at some point. But yeah. And Payson Johnson in the YouTube chat wants to know what track is this. I don't know what that means. But yeah. Alexis Leclerc is back, ladies and gentlemen. He is on the gate here tonight on the number 1, whatever his cryptocurrency of choice is, Honda. So welcome back, Leclerc, for some reason. Hey, and shout out MotoStar508. Welcome, sir, to the Members Lounge. Subbing up with his Prime sub, 2 months, currently on a 1-month streak, and he says, thanks for the streams. No, thank you. Honestly, thank you, everybody that comes out and supports it. We've seen numbers dropping with GPs. It's going to be a tough sell for me to have to do that again next year, honestly, because there's almost nobody watching it. And I think I'd almost maybe rather prefer to put a lot of effort into one sim stream, one MX bike stream next year. But yeah, I appreciate everyone that continues to swing on by and watch all the racing action. Let's jump back in here and get ready to drop the gate in 450 Moto 1. Design Lab Co. Whole shot coming up. Who have we got to pick? I mean, Leclerc is a pretty good pick. Is Hubbard back? Hubbard has not been racing. Not sure what's up with Hubbard not being out there of late. Bummer not to see the 78. I know Braden Carter is here tonight on the 9, but no Hubbard. So we got to go dial up 1-800 whole shot and figure out where Jacob Hubbard has disappeared to. But we are just about set and ready to go. I'm going to go Leclerc for the Design Lab Co. whole shot off the gate in this one. 450 Moto 1 at Unadilla. Ready to drop the gate and fire into turn number 1 here in just a moment. Kyle Boardman showing the fast lines around this racetrack on his EVP Yamaha. Bodie Parker, Teddy Lehman. There is Alexis Leclerc on the number 1 ride. We're going all out on Wednesdays. How many points is P5? It should be 16 points, good sir. Unless they're doing the new RF point system, then it's 17. Or the new national point system, whatever you want to call it. We got some people in chat saying Leclerc for the whole shot and dub. We'll have to see whether that comes to fruition, but either way, we are ready to go racing here at Unadilla. Who's going to win 450 Moto 1? Let's find out. Gate is down here in New York. Johnson with a good start up the inside, trying to push his nose in there. Leclerc does actually get a great start, pushes off the track, but Leclerc comes back out of semi-hiatus and gets the Design Lab Co. whole shot. That's not like he never left. You know Leclerc was going to come back out here and rip a good one for the boys. The number 1, Phil Ski and Snowboard Honda out in front, backed by Money Samo, whatever that means. But it is Leclerc from Payson Johnson, Brandon Larson, Joseph Pilsner, and Austin Schaefer here on the opening lap. Johnson with a good start is bad news for the rest of the field, but hey, T-Lang's up in 6th. Seth Shirley is 12th. Some of our heavy hitters getting some good starts in this one. And of course, Leclerc is going to push Payson Johnson to his limit in this. 2 guys that have seen each other a fair share the last few years. But to be honest, what's weird about it is Leclerc, the 5-time national champion, and Johnson, the 2022 national champion, I don't feel like really have ever had a real balls out mano-a-mano battle for the lead. And we might be able to see one here tonight at Unadilla. So here we go at the front. Oh, Leclerc yards up by himself from the lead. And never mind about that. A lot of guys are going to go by. He is going to go from first back to about 8th or so. It's going... Oh, that's a terrible tracker entry. Bad decision by Leclerc. Brandon Cockcroft gives him the business and puts him on the deck. And more riders go by. Sad. Sad. But it is Johnson now back into the race lead. And let's get Dooley's cam going here, shall we? Lap number 1 here at Dilla. Johnson upside down. Let's see what everyone else has got for us. Oh, a little bit of Dooley's T-lane getting upside down right there. Nice whip for Seth Shirley. Big gaps already established. There we go. Dooley's backwards there for Colby Eaglin. Oh, somebody just upside down. I'm going to go check out that Alpine Stars gear. Who was doing that? Luke Sullivan back to racing. Even Leclerc, who sucks at whipping, getting nasty. I like it. And a lot of other guys upside down. Good whip right there for, I think that was Larson. D. Davis. All 31 years of life that he has is getting upside down as well. Not too shabby. I think the 250s gave us a little bit better of a show, but I like it. And we got a change for the lead. Austin Schaefer is out front. So Schaefer leads from T-lane. Somewhere, somehow, Payson Johnson went down. So Schaefer leads here at Unadilla, and this is a big opportunity here for Tyler Lane to go up and get another moto win. Remember, he entered 51 points down on Payson Johnson in the championship, and while it is a massive long shot with only 6 motos to go, you just never know, man. That's why they score points all the way till the very end. Oh, Lang gets put on the ground. Schaefer finally met him all the way to that 3rd rut. Schaefer blew the inside, blew the second, pushed all the way into Lang and put him down. And now we've got all kinds of problems. Is coming back into the mix here. Colby Eaglin right up alongside. Eaglin folds up and goes down. So that other guy that was upside down right there, I think was Frank Jackson. Yes, right there on the Underground RC machine. And all right, so back to the lead again. And Schaefer has got himself a 1.3 second advantage on Jeff Cooper. Logan Leitzel on the big number 3 machine is in 3rd. Johnson 4th. Pilsner 5th. Cockcroft 6th. Lang 7th. Ortiz 8th. Frank Jackson 9th. Caleb Hall 10th. Stevenson 11th. Shirley 12th. Will now in 13th. And everyone is still pretty close together here. Scrubbing up the hill. Austin Schaefer leads this thing, though. And Jeff Cooper is keeping him honest. So how much time can Schaefer put on the field if he leads this thing for a little bit? He's definitely pushing. Oh, front flip for the leader. Let's go. Austin Schaefer putting on a show. Bringing up the old Matty Burkeen days out here. I love it. Jeff Cooper probably doesn't know what just hit him right there. He's probably about to fold up like a broken lawn chair because he's freaking out that someone just front flipped the sky shot in front of him. But this is kind of cool to see. Logan Leitzel, who was in a 250 championship battle all the way through Millville, then had a really bad second moto. Kind of seems like he withdrew from that, didn't race Washougal. Now back on a 450 this week, and honestly, looks like he might be fancying a moto win here. Closing up on Jeff Cooper. Oh, and as I say that, Leitzel tucks the front end and goes down. There goes Tyler Lang. Actually, Killian Ortiz going by. Joseph Pilsner, Logan Leitzel, Frank Jackson. And then Payson Johnson back here right behind Leitzel now with Seth Shirley. So Johnson's had a few crashes already this moto because he crashed the lead away, then got up to 3rd again, crashed again. Killian Ortiz lays in fast lap of the race. Now Seth Shirley checks in with a new fastest lap of the race. And I want to go behind this battle because we got Johnson and Leitzel right in front of Seth Shirley and a lot of other guys that they're about to try to line up for some passes. Frank Jackson goes down. Shirley reads it, beautifully cuts underneath and gets by Johnson. He's up to 7th, and he is the fastest man on track right now. Hall, Johnson back here. So what can Payson Johnson now do with all these guys right in front of him battling? We got a battle for the lead, Brew, and I don't want to miss this. Jeff Cooper is putting the heat on Austin Schaefer. It was down under a second last time timing and scoring updated, and it looks like it's opened back up ever so slightly now. So let's actually go back to this one here for a moment. Shirley, did he just get around Leitzel, or is Leitzel getting back around him? I kind of forget, but the number 2 and 3 machines battling right behind Joseph Pilsner coming down the hill here. Look at that line from Leitzel launching up alongside Pilsner. And if he scrubs at the top of the hill, he could get to the inside. Pilsner shuts the door, but Seth Shirley goes to the outside and goes down, and Leitzel makes the pass stick anyway. Here comes Payson Johnson also trying to come with. And these guys are all flying, pushing the envelope right now. So up and at him, out of the hill at the top, dropping back down into Screw You. Let's see if Johnson's got a line sized up to try to get Pilsner here. He's going to go far inside. Got the rut really clean, and then Leitzel made a mistake, so Johnson's actually going to get a twofer. He's up into 4th now. Lang, next rider, up ahead of him. Then it's Jeff Cooper still tailing Austin Schaefer, who's leading this thing. 7.5 minutes coming up in this one. And Schaefer still has Jeff Cooper just 1.1 seconds behind him. Cooper is just keeping him honest. Two faces we didn't necessarily expect to see at the sharp end of the field, but here they are. Oh, looks like Cooper went down or maybe went off the track after the finish line jump. Lang is now into 2nd. What happened to Payson? Because now Hayden Stevenson is up to 4th. Leitzel 5th. Pilsner 6th. Leclerc 7th. Sully is in 8th. Look at this freight train right here. There are 7 riders, and they're going 2 by 2. It's Noah's Ark jumping down back in the gravity cavity here. Look at all these bikes together. Sully back from his car crash, now duking it out with Leclerc. Leitzel trying to go after Stevenson. We've been talking about it for weeks that Stevenson, if he moved up to a 450, would absolutely bark on that thing. And look at him up here in 4th right now. Leitzel and now Sully with Leclerc right in tow. Johnson is all the way back to 14th. Don't look now. We might have ourselves a bit of a... That's the 2nd time Leclerc has crashed right there. What is going on with the 5-time champ suspension? Someone's got to dial up 1-800-PETER-LIKE and get that thing figured out. Unbelievable stuff. Let's go back to the lead real quick because Schaefer has got Tyler Lang closing up on him. Schaefer actually ran the fastest lap of the race at a 2:16. 6.56 last time by, but it's kind of bugged because Lang went 2:15 187. That is actually the fastest lap right there. So here comes Tyler Lang, and this is kind of putting a little bit of heat on Payson Johnson, I feel like, because if Lang can go out and win this moto and Johnson is struggling the way that he is, don't look now, but this thing could tighten up just a little bit. As it runs, I think Lang is outscoring him by about 13 points. If he goes to the lead, I think it'd be out to 16. So they are just quietly having a bit of a battle for the race lead right now. Schaefer and Tyler Lang. And curious to see what happens here because it's kind of a bit of a ding, ding, ding round 2. Remember, Schaefer took Lang out for the lead about 4 laps ago. So what does Lang do this time? Schaefer jumping from off track right there. Got to be careful. And T-Lane goes 2:13.554. The 2021 champ is fired up. He is back on form. He is currently leading the World Championship in RFGP. And I think he believes he still has an outside shot at winning this title. That is a bit of a ride right there, and he's down. Just as I say that, all that comes to blows as he swaps out and loses his footing and loses P2 on the racetrack. Jeff Cooper goes back by. So now they are in a battle for second place. Lang's going to just funnel back in behind him. Sullivan in 4th. Stevenson, Leitzel, Hall, Jackson, Johnson, Ortiz now the top 10. Looks like Seth Surley's drifted back to 12th. Leclerc is 14th. Lang scrubbing up alongside Jeff Cooper trying to get to this inside line. Cooper does leave him the line, and Lang says, all right, thank you. I will take that and make the pass into second again. Doolies. Cooper launching out to flat there. But now it's time for Lang to put the hammer back down again. Look at Luke Sullivan, man. This is awesome to see. Spent about 6 rounds on the sidelines, more or less 2 whole months after being involved in a car crash is what the report is. And yeah, this is awesome to have him back behind the gate. A lot of people like Sully. He put together a very awesome thing to start the season to create a pro purse for the Supercross Championship. And I think someone will have to remind me, I think he raised over $700 on that. So it split up a nice little chunk of change to some of the top guys in the game. And yeah, just genuinely a good dude, but he is going to have to deal with some heat. Payson Johnson and Logan Leitzel are cooking, trying to close that gap down from behind. You also got Caleb Hall and Killian Ortiz right there. So Eagland, Shirley Leclerc are now 9, 10, 11 on the racetrack. Let's see if they can't get together, start freight training their way towards the front as well. And interestingly enough, everybody inside the top 10 still separated by about 25 seconds. So this is really close right now. Oh my gosh, is it really already on SMX? Come on, Aaron Kreese. How quickly do you pull these things down, dude? It's ridiculous. Sheesh. Got me good. I'll admit it. Here's Seth Shirley. He is on the charge right now. Just did his personal best at a 2:15.171 and is going to make a nice pass there on Caleb Hall to move through. Now Killian Ortiz and Logan Leitzel are just up ahead of him. And these guys are really pushing, man. This is actually kind of interesting to see the dynamic of this race because this group is arguably the fastest on the track right now. You could say Payson is as well with his 2:15.5. And they're catching the leaders because Schaefer is going 2:16.9. So he's almost 2 seconds a lap slower, and these guys are about 20 seconds back. Doolies. Those guys tossing it right there. But look at Shirley, man. He is putting the pressure on Killian Ortiz right now. As soon as we see this one materializes down at the bottom of the hill, Luke Sullivan down on the 11. Gonna allow Eagland to go by as well as Shirley comes together with Ortiz. That is the luckiest bit of contact I maybe have ever seen in MX Sim. Who's that down right there? That is a lapper. But those two bouncing off of each other, that just doesn't happen in this game, man. You get so unlucky with collisions sometimes. And Shirley gets away scot-free. He's now 6th. He's pushing Logan Leitzel. And this train is starting to wind it up a little bit now. Let's see. I want to see what the lap times are this time by, because all these guys are flying right now. This is one of the fastest groups in a battle for 6th I've ever seen, and Shirley lays it down. So Leitzel, he checks in with a 2:19.8. Not necessarily cooking, but then all these other guys behind him, they're laying in 2:18s, 2:16s. Leclerc, he's back on his horse as well. Just went 2:17.5, it looks like. So yeah, these guys are winding it up just a little bit. Let's go back to the lead and see what the gap is. Schaefer, 3.1 seconds out in front. Just trying to refresh our timing and scoring here for a second because it keeps messing up. But yeah, 2.8 seconds to lead, and Lang has just been inching the gap down. 2:14.6 last time by to a 2:18.6. He was 4 seconds a lap faster, and gap prediction-wise, they're going to have a battle for the lead here before the end of this lap. So we can see here halfway through this moto what Lang is looking at in terms of the racetrack development. It's starting to wear in a decent little bit, some pretty large chop throughout the track. Actually hasn't closed that gap down as quickly as I maybe thought he would. 1.6 seconds the gap. 2:14.2 again, but Schaefer did respond. 2:16.6, so he was only 2 seconds slower that time by. But it just seems inevitable, man. Lang has just been inching that gap down. And here we go for the lead. Here at Unadilla. Can Lang put the heat on him enough to make the mistake, or is he just going to force a pass himself? Might get it right here. Inside. Thought about it. This is where he crashed 2 laps ago trying to get into the lead in the first place. And look, he's having troubles with that section. Schaefer gets it much cleaner and gets a little bit of a gap. I don't know why Austin Schaefer has his name as Austin's Schaefer. But kudos to him, I guess. And here we go. Johnson lays in a 2:13 flat in 4th place. He's only 10 seconds back of this battle, starting to reel them in a little bit. Look at this. Inside for Lang. Down the inside at the bottom of the hill for the race lead. And he has got it into the sky shot. Doolies for the lead. Oh, and Schaefer down out of 2nd place just as the lead goes over to T-Lang. The man who had been leading for much of this race crashes, and there goes Jeff Cooper. Here comes Payson Johnson. And now Johnson is going to have to get a move on if he wants to go catch Tyler Lang, as the battle for 2nd is now raging. Jeff Cooper versus Austin Schaefer. Oh, look at Johnson launching out into this corner, tripling in to the outside, trying to get by Schaefer in a fight for 3rd place. Oh, gosh, he's pushing the limit. Johnson is advancing. Down the inside, trying to move into 3rd. And he's got it, but Schaefer did kind of blow the corner, but Johnson still absolutely ripped that corner. He's about to go 2:12 here. Quali lap status. Made a bit of a mistake in the final turn, but let's see. 2:16 flat. So the aesthetics were that he was flying, but he was making a few too many mistakes. The next up for him is Jeff Cooper, 11.3 seconds back of Tyler Lang out front. Jeff Cooper down, and that is going to be an easy pass for Payson Johnson in the end. Austin Schaefer goes by as well, and Cooper's going to pick it up about 4 seconds, I think, in front of Logan Leitzel. There is Leitzel now coming down the hill in P5. Luke Sullivan right behind him in 6th, and Sully just laid it down, so Killian Ortiz goes to 6th. Sully trying to pick it up in 7th. Nah, not going to get there. Eaglin goes to 7th. Sully now 8th. Caleb Hall in P9, and Braden Castellaneta rounding out the top 10. Seth Shirley has had an up and down day. He is back to 11th again, but he has been one of the faster guys on the track. He's just got to put it together. And now we have nothing between Tyler Lang and Payson Johnson. So we were talking early in the moto about Johnson and some of his struggles and where the gap was potentially going to balloon out a little bit. Lang 51 points down, but was potentially going to make up 16 points, as much as potentially 16 points, with Johnson down in P12. Now Johnson's climbed all the way back to 2nd, and he's only gaining 3 points on him, so it'd go from 51 to 48. Again, I think most people would assume at this point, yep, championship's over. I just want to go win races. But that also might be the mindset of Payson Johnson. Look, I've got this thing in my back pocket. I've got a huge lead. Doesn't really matter if I crash a lot because I'm going to win this title anyway. So maybe I just throw caution to the wind and bust things like this, a huge triple onto a tiny roller into a turn to just lay down some burner laps and see if I can't close down on the 2021 RaceFactoryGaming National Champion Tyler Lang out front. Look at that, just hopping out of those inside ruts. This track is deceiving because it's got these little choppy bumps kind of everywhere that your bike just wants to skate across. So what's lap times this time through? Johnson goes 2:13.4, 2:15.3 out of T-Lang. Gained 2 seconds on him last time by alone. So now Lang has to try to settle down and get back into a comfortable pace that is faster than what he is doing at the moment, because Johnson's just doing quali laps. And as long as he doesn't crash, this is going to eventually tighten this gap up. It's already down to 8 seconds, almost under 8 seconds at this point. So let's get a stopwatch rolling here and see how long it takes for Johnson to just straight up reel him in. If he does, or if Lang makes that big mistake, what ends up happening? It's Lang, Johnson, Schaefer, Cooper, Ortiz, Eaglin, Leitzel, Castellaneta, Hall, Sullivan. The top 10 here, 22 minutes into this 30-minute plus 2-lap race. Oh, and Johnson goes down. Just as I say that, tucks the front end and lays it down. Tough break for him, but he does get going in front of Schaefer. So now he has got to try to regroup and see if he can't reel some of that time back just a little bit, because there is still the chance, of course, that if Lang goes down and Johnson's, let's say, 11 seconds back, that we would have a good fight for the lead. Man, he's still going for the big lines, too. He is not afraid whatsoever. So even with that crash, I kind of just wanted to follow him here through the end of this lap and see what the lap times looked like, because he goes 2:23 versus a 2:15.7. He actually only lost 8 seconds in that fall-off crash, which is kind of crazy for how long it was, kind of sliding through that jump. So Lang, 2:15.7. I mean, look, these guys are the fastest riders on the track right now. Trying to look through and see if anyone else is doing something similar. Now we got 2:17s, 2:16 out of Colby Eagland is pretty close. That's it, though. Other than that, that's what we're looking at for lap times. Those guys are laying down the law. Everything's kind of spread out otherwise. Sully's still trying to put some work in on Caleb Hall. Seth Shirley and Alexis Leclerc are having just terrible times right now in 13th and 15th, respectively. They just keep crashing their way backwards. Braden Carter just clicked in a 2:14.5 in P21. And that was like 10 seconds faster than pretty much everybody around him. And might be getting his old buddy there, Tanner Rogers, soon. Interestingly enough, Tanner Rogers and Braden Carter, who were teammates in Supercross, had a couple moments together. And I just now realized that Tanner Rogers is on BPC and not Phil's. So wonder what happened there. Back up front to our leader, 5 minutes and 2 laps left to go. 16-second advantage still for Tyler Lang. It is going to take a crash, no question about it, for Payson Johnson to win this moto at this point. And the only bummer about this, I guess I could say, is that Lang's form, really, if it was early in the season we saw this form out of T-Lang, gosh, what a championship we would have had. But Johnson just hit the ground running, man. He was so good from the get-go. And Lang, maybe just, I don't know, coming off Supercross or something, didn't really have the sharpness. Same for Leclerc. Leclerc didn't look really comfortable. And now this version of Tyler Lang is starting to look like the guy that we saw win this championship in 2021. But, of course, too little too late this year at this point to make anything happen about it. He's probably going to end up second in the championship. If he takes any solace in that, not too sure. But still good to see him have a strong performance to wrap this thing out. All right, Johnson's got it down to 13.6. 13.4. His lap time last time by was 2.5 seconds a lap faster than Lang out front. And again, the whole point of it is just if Lang has a big mistake, Johnson can be there for the taking. And Lang's best thing going for him right now is he has got no lap traffic aside from one rider for the next probably 30 odd seconds, 25 seconds or so. So he's got plenty of time to try to settle down and not overthink this too much, while Johnson just has to go to work trying to reel him in as much as he can. Let's go on board with him and just watch from his perspective to see as he goes to work on this racetrack. Just laying in 13s after 13s. And yeah, we don't really have any close battles going on inside of our top 10 right now. Everything is pretty spread out. So let's just stick tight here with Johnson and see what it looks like from his point of view. I like that he keeps going back to that inside rut. I would not be comfortable with it, but he's obviously making it work. And is he still tripling this as well? Yeah, just gets into fourth and lets it kind of rev out all the way to the face of it. Still want to land nose heavy so you don't have an instant legs, which is so counterintuitive in this game, but sometimes it do be like that. And hopping through the bumps right there, that was cool. And then out of this inside rut, jumping down into the valley. See, at this point, I'm studying. I'm gonna pick up all these lines and use it tomorrow to race EU. 14.1, 12.5 back, and a 16 flat out of T-Lang. He's gaining 2 seconds a lap. It's just going to not be enough time, unfortunately. He's probably got 4 laps to go. So, you know, it's going to go from 12 to 4 seconds or so, gaining that 2 seconds a lap. But he needs the big one out of Lang. And I was talking about lap traffic and Lang not really hitting much. Well, that kind of is about to change. He's going to start hitting a few of them on a more regular basis. Probably this lap, maybe as far off as next lap, but there's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys that he's definitively going to hit before this moto's done, if not more. And again, they're pretty spread out. Lap traffic should not be an issue for our leaders, but just a little hold up here, or even if they crash in front of him and he has to stop, more time lost right there as well. Oh, and Johnson's down at the top of the hill. Keeps teasing us that we're going to have a race, and it ultimately does not materialize in the end. That's a shame. Austin Schaefer has Jeff Cooper starting to close up onto him for third place, and Jeff Cooper is having himself a hell of a moto right now. We've seen Schaefer be a little bit closer to the sharp end on occasion, but I don't believe Jeff Cooper has ever podiumed a moto. Guess maybe Schaefer might not either. Where's Lane Burks? Gotta let me know the stats on this one. But they are grinding out, trying to make it all the way to the checkered flag, still in a podium position. And you're 30 minutes into the moto now. Let's see, did Lang cross? No, so 2-lap board coming out this time by. Man, 30 minutes into the moto, you're just like, come on, where is the 2-lap board? Where is the white flag? Give it to me. As Schaefer lays it down, Cooper hits him. They're both going to be at a dead stop at the bottom of Screw You. And Cooper comes out with the better drive and gets to the top of the hill first. He's into third. Braden Castellaneta was the next rider behind them, but is a little bit of a ways back. Killian Ortiz was back there, but he crashed. So them getting together ended up being inconsequential for positioning. Now Jeff Cooper is back into a podium position. And this could be a massive moment for the Yogi Yamaha rider. Look, I'll say this about the 450 class, and some people may not agree with me. But look, I won a 450 moto in 2014, and I'll just admit it, I don't think I could ever win a moto against this competition. So if you're Jeff Cooper and you get third in a moto, I would almost take that as a win. Because to beat Payson Johnson, Tyler Lang is a tall task, but the guys that he is beating is crazy good. Braden Castellaneta, Colby Eaglin, Seth Shirley, Alexis Leclerc, Luke Sullivan, Braden Carter, all behind him. And as I say that, he goes down. Schaefer goes back into a podium spot. But yeah, either one of these guys, yeah, to beat Payson Johnson and Tyler Lang, you have to be alien status, more or less. And now Austin Schaefer, who, as you guys in chat are letting me know, they think he has a 250SX podium, but not a 451. So this is potentially a big moment for him as well to maybe land on the box. That'll be very cool. Braden Castellaneta wants to come up here and spoil the party. Come on, Braden. You've had so many podiums in your career. Actually, I don't think he actually has that many, but he's won a little bit here and there. He's had his podium share. Just wants another. He's bringing Killian Ortiz with him. And this is the best fight on track as Tyler Lang takes the white flag out front. One more lap to go in 450 Moto number 1. It needs more backflips. Well, then get on the track, Reno Brennan. What are you doing out here? Schaefer has 4 top 5s in 250SX, but nothing better than that. Crazy. And he might be about to podium a 450 moto out here. Look at him, Phil Nicolettiing his way into a great spot. So Ryder goes down and gets back up out of the way of those guys. Castellaneta actually might have more problems dealing with Ortiz than he does have trying to chase down Austin Schaefer for 3rd. Yeah, Ortiz actually rips this rut into gravity cavity almost alongside of him. Scrubs it real nice and tidy to get the power back down. Gonna swoop to this middle rut right here. I think that inside's pretty much developed as the only good line on that corner. Oh, ooh, Castellaneta down. That's the same spot that last time by took Jeff Cooper down. I think it's just a big hole in the ground right there that those guys keep getting. Caleb Hall goes for a bit of a ride right here. Alexis Leclerc trying to get into the top 8. Yeah, Lang's got a 38-second lead. It's over. Or as some people have been saying of lately, it's Jover. But Tyler Lang is on his way to a Moto 1 victory. 38-second advantage. It was as low as, I think, 8 seconds. And he was just relentless. Kept putting in those 215s lap after lap and said, all right, Payson, you going to catch me? Come get me, buddy. But Payson simply could not do it. Too many crashes in succession, and Lang looks like he is going to let somebody... Is this D. Davis he's letting go by? Yes, he is letting Devin Davis have another lap. And your Moto 1 winner here at Unadilla is Tyler Lang, as he breaks through for a big one here in New York. Johnson looks like he's going to hold on for 2nd. Ortiz got all the way up to 3rd. He is around Castellaneta and Schaefer. So Schaefer looks like he threw it away here on this final lap. That's got to be so frustrating. But in Killian Ortiz's case, he is loving every second of this one. Oh, and he's down with 2 turns to go. Oh, it's just who doesn't want 3rd in this race? Is he still going to get up in 3rd? No, Schaefer goes by. Schaefer is through into 3rd. Castellaneta's going to throw one last attempt at it into gravity cavity. It's going to be so close, but it's Schaefer by a nose. 4/10 at the line gets Castellaneta. Let's see what happens with penalties. Eagland ends up 5th. Ortiz 6th. Jeff Cooper was battling for a podium. He ends up in 7th by the looks of it. Yep, 7th. Luke Sullivan 8th. Alexis Leclerc 9th. And Caleb Hall rounds out the top 10 just in front of Seth Shirley. Joseph Pilsner has some time on Teddy Lehman. Teddy Lehman has B-Lars trying to give him the business here on the final lap. B-Lars into this rut so fast and then goes for Mr. Toad's wild ride on exit. Aiden Stevenson, Frank Jackson, Jack Haley, Bodie Parker, Braden Carter, and Will Now. Ooh, Kyle Boardman. We got a duel for the final points paying position. Someone's gonna die. Who is it? Will Now versus Kyle Boardman. Oh, that crossover is filthy, and they get into each other, and Boardman survives. Boardman survives and makes it into the final points paying position. That sucks, racing 30 minutes plus 2 laps for 0 points. So I feel right there for Will. Now let's wait for penalties and see if anything changes. And penalties are in, and oh, Braden Castellaneta gets the podium. Austin Schaefer is left to settle for 4th. He had 1.77 seconds of cuts, and Castellaneta had none. It's T. Lang from Payson Johnson and Braden Castellaneta here in Moto 1, but Lang is the big winner here today so far. And it's going to roll us right into our Moto 2s. All right, 250 Moto 2 coming up. Welcome back in the studio, people. Kellen Brower in the booth, bringing you guys the action. I just checked out the SMX.com account and saw that I've already been featured. You love to see it. Well, you kind of hate to see it, but you also love to see it at the same time. Should I be proud of that? Should I be disappointed? Should I say, Mom, get the camera? I really don't know how I feel about that. Be loud and proud? All right, I'll run it. Why not? Let's go for it. 250 Moto 2 coming up next. Hopefully everybody is still hanging out, having a good time in the chat room. Whole shot guess for Moto 2. Who got it Moto 1? It was Chelsea alongside Snyder, I think. Let's see. Let's go a little bit off the wall. I will say... Yeah, let's go Dylan Delaire. Dylan Delaire for a Moto 2 whole shot pick. Reject normality. That's crazy. That is criminal. I didn't get your style points at the end, D. Davis. What are you doing? Oh, man, we got a prediction? iMoto's just dropping them off right here. I don't even know what the prediction is. I can't even see it on my screen. Oh, who whole shots Moto 2? That's right. Okay, here we go. Put in a prediction for Seth Carr, Braden Tharp, Cade Matherly, Maverick Snyder, or Ryan Chelsea. Bet those channel points or other. You could also bet other. So head over to twitch.tv/StartYourSystemsTV and bet those channel points. Mantis says, yo, that was actually a good performance by me. The front flip in the lead was sick, so that must be Austin Schaefer. It was a very sick front flip. 10 out of 10 would recommend you to do it in Moto 2 again. As, yeah, the chat's firing off. You guys have some good discussions going on. Trying to read through some of it during the motos, but also trying to stay attentive. I don't want to feel like you guys are not watching a good broadcast. Just doing my best, keeping it real. tell you guys what happened in Moto number 1 of the 250 class, shall we? As Seth Carr took the win from Maverick Snyder, Race Cobble, Cade Matherly, Wyatt Grant, Jack Gatlin, Evan Vanderkoy, Max Wilczek, Ben Nerona, and Jeremy Siebold. By the way, if anybody is here that knows Max Wilczek, whatever it is, please let me know if I'm saying it right, because he DM'd me and said that I was saying it wrong, but then the way he described that I should say it made it sound like I was saying it correct. So is it Wilczek? I don't know, man. Just trying my best out here. Thanks, Reno Brennan. I love you back. And yeah, just trying to get these names correct out here. I don't like when I call people by the wrong name. I grew up my whole life going to do local races where the announcers would call me Kellen Brewer. Can never get Brower. I get like the AUE combo is maybe a bit tough on you, but how do you get Brewer out of that? I don't know. All right, these guys are set and ready to go here in Moto number 2. Everybody getting a little last minute preparations in. So we will jump back into our main screen and get ready to go. Who DM me on the Discord? Bop it up, bop, bop. Don't worry. I will check out that ping later. No, you didn't. How do people screw up Burks? Lane Burks. Burkes? Are you kidding me? And just Burkes. It's Burks. That's dumb. People suck. Yeah, Dio. Dio is Olszewski, isn't it? I know that it like kind of reads Olszewski, kind of, but I think it's Olszewski. Yeah, that's certainly a tough one. So I feel a little bit for announcers with that name because it's just like Scrabble letters kind of, but I don't know. I get it. All right, here we go, folks. Moto number 2 here at Unadilla. Can Cade Matherly turn it around and put in a fight against Seth Carr? We're off and running. Better start, it looks like, for Cade. Let's see if he gets kind of swallowed up. If you guys get together, Tharp comes out clean as a whistle. Should have picked him. Should have had him. He got himself anyway. Braden Tharp picks up the Design Lab Co. Whole shit. Head over to designlabco.com and check out all the cool stuff they're making, from graphics to all kinds of different things. So we appreciate them back in the stream. And Tharp is out front leading here at Unadilla in Moto 2. Jack Gatlin up in second. Matherly third. Schiabro fourth. Wilczek in fifth. Ooh, that was a tidy one right there with Schiabro trying to get up the inside there of Wilczek. Not a single person bet Tharp. I would have bet him because he gets good starts all the time, but he is off and running with a good lead out front. So where is our championship leader? Seth Carr is in ninth. It did look like he kind of got hung up in the first turn, but maybe it wasn't one of the riders that went down. A lot of guys went down. Did see Siebold get denied in that first turn, and he is in 39th. Tough break for him. So Gatlin off into a good charge here in second. Matherly third. Emmanuel Cepeda fourth. Seth Carr already into the top 5. Wilczek in 6th. Jousey 7th, sliding down the hill right there. Your name isn't pronounced with an X, but everyone does that now. So it's like Jackson with like J-E or J-A-C-K-S-O-N, but you just went J-A-X-O-N. Is that what you're talking about? Let's do Dooley's cam. Tharp whipping it in front of Gatlin. There's Matherly. And now it's on from there. Look at that. Woo, is that Jousey upside down right there? Doolies, quadsies, trilies. Oh, get him. Throwing him upside down like it's nobody's business. These guys are having a day out here. Look at that. Oh, my goodness. Someone just got turned. I think that was Timothy Briscoe right there. He's Himothy out here. I'll tell you what. Upside down. More guys back here. Who is that? deep in the field on the 68. Ryan Pinkerton having a tough time. And there is Seabolt bringing up Caboose. But back to our lead. Tharp, Gatlin, Matherly. And Tharp is starting to feel some heat from Jack Gatlin already. Gatlin ended up 6th in the first moto. And now we are going to see if he can battle for a race victory here in Moto 2. So the fight is on at the front of the field. 3 minutes into this 30-minute plus 2-lap Moto 2 in the 250 class. Braden Tharp, Jack Gatlin, Cade Matherly, Seth Carr now into 4th. And this is, I think, good news for all of us watching that we get to see Carr and Matherly go face-to-face here. But Matherly was probably hoping, finally, I get a good start. Maybe I don't have to deal with him. Psych, there he is. So the fight is on between our two title combatants. After the first moto, it was out to a 28-point lead for Seth Carr. And he's trying to get some more points back in his favor. Side by side on the uphill. Carr right there squeaks by and passes Matherly straight up. But it's to the outside line. Matherly might be able to get to this inside and get back by him. They're side by side into the sky shot. Oh, Matherly tosses. Trying to keep that third position. Carr was business as usual, kept it straight air Leclerc, and he's back into third. Could have had an iconic moment right there. Would have been the cover of the DVD for the season. But Seth Carr just refuses to play by the rules. He doesn't want to throw dualies. He is all eyes on the front. Next up for him, Jack Gatlin. And Gatlin just went down right in front of these guys. He's on the face of this step up where Deegan's bike blew up last year. So now can these two maybe work together and try to get up to the front and get up to Braden Tharp, Carr's teammate, out front? Carr just looks dialed in, man, on a mission today to prove that this championship is his. He wants to make it stamped, signed, and delivered into his back pocket. Oh, and as I say that, a little front end push right there. And Matherly goes back by. So now we got ourselves a bit of an interesting dynamic in this race because Matherly is catching Tharp, and Tharp just went down with the lead. Tharp loses the lead. Matherly goes by. And Tharp's going to pick it up now in P5 just behind Max Wilczek. Emmanuel Cepeda went by into third. But I think we want to watch this materialize right here. Matherly in the lead, 1.8 seconds to the good of Seth Carr. But we know that Seth Carr has got a move on coming. He is going to try to get up there and dice it up with these guys. Ooh, that's a mistake. Here comes Cepeda. Wonder if some of that pressure of Carr just trying to do a little bit too much is getting to him right now. He just doesn't want to lose points to Matherly at all costs. And worst case scenario is letting him win a moto as well, because then he pulls in as many points as he possibly can. So 3.3 seconds now. Cepeda's still right there behind Seth Carr. And Wilczek will come off the jump right there, right behind them. And Tharp about 5 seconds behind both of them. Just ahead of Chelsea Gatlin, Jack Mark, Colin Holden, and Jax Lindsay inside the top 10. So Matherly is just trying to run away here, but it is not really working. 2.1 seconds now down. The gap is inching up, and actually Cepeda is even reeling in Matherly out front, but Carr is on the move. It's coming down by the tenths every single timing split. Dropping back down into gravity cavity. On to lap number 5 we go, and here comes the two best in the business on 250Fs in this game right now, set to battle it out for the second moto victory and supremacy in this 250 class. Along with it, this is Matherly's best opportunity he has had all year long to square up against Seth Carr and try to beat him straight up. So can he take the fight to the number 15 Panini Motorsports Yamaha? Or Fantic, I should say. Let's go and find out. 22 minutes and 2 laps left in this race to go. And this is about to be as good as it gets. This is what we always tune in for. We want the two best riders in the game nose to tail on the racetrack, and we are about to have that right here in MX Simulator. Matherly, second in the 250 National Championship last year behind Seth Shirley, and Seth Carr second in the 250 SX East Championship this year behind Rasmus Balzer, I believe it was. Or if I maybe have that backwards, I think maybe he was West now that I think about it. But either way, they both have something to fight for because they have championships that they feel should have been theirs that they lost. Doolies! Oh, Carr down! Doesn't quite bring it back and swaps hard on landing. Gonna lose a spot there to Wilczek. Tharp goes back by, and Carr just gets on now behind Ryan Chowsey. Tharp went down, so he's going to go back to 4th. He's trying to get Chowsey to go back into 3rd now as well. Oh, that's a bummer. Oh, that's not going to help his case either, that swap at the bottom of the hill. So now Chowsey and Carr going to have their little battle for 3rd. Wilczek another 4 seconds up the road from them. And Matherly continues to lead now by 6 seconds. So can Ryan Chowsey hang with this lead group for a little bit? As Carr swoops the outside into the Little Dipper at the top of the hill. Trying to swoop this corner into 3rd, and he is got by Ryan Cheesecake Chowsey into the 3rd position. 20 minutes plus 2 laps left to go in this race. Still plenty of time. And he's only 9.9 seconds back of Matherly in the race lead. So we have got to see how this one materializes as Wilczek is trying to play some spoiler right here. Up into 2nd, 6.4 seconds off of race leader Cade Matherly. And Carr, Chowsey, Jack Gatlin now just got around Tharp. He's into the top 5. 6.5 day right now for the TM Factory Racing Machine. Tharp, Cepeda, Partillo, Dylan Dallaire, and Jax Lindsay rounding out the top 10. Jack Mark, Factory Fonterra racer. Interesting. Race Cobble, Lucas Brune, Nick Niles, Evan Vanderkoy, Ben Nerona, Garrett Hollenbeck, Sonny Spicer, Ryan Pinkerton, Colin Holden, Schiarbro, Mortberg. Here is Moto 1 second place finisher Maverick Snyder. Very rough go thus far. 22nd place at the moment. Not where he wants to be. Back here with Logan Mortberg. Trying to get around the 275 of Colin Holden, just ahead of him. He's actually on the number 120 Honda, and Snyder goes down. Big crash right there. Tough break. He is not having the moto he was hoping for. Back up to the lead because we got a battle for 2nd place starting to bruise. Seth Carr is reeling in Max Wilczek. And this might be a new fastest lap of the race out of the current points leader here in 3rd place. On the inside, might even make a pass with it over the finish line jump, and he checks in at a 2:15.023 out of Seth Carr. Unbelievable the speed he's carrying right now. Almost 3 seconds faster than our race leader last time by. 7 seconds, the gap that he has to make up. And if he continues at this pace, he might be there in just a couple laps. Insane the speed he's putting down. I think he's a little bit mad even, which is crazy given that at the moment he's in a position to win the overall. His points lead is going to be basically a full moto distance, 24 points at least. Or 25, actually. It'll be exactly 25, I should say. And he looks like he doesn't care about any of that. He cares about one thing, and that's one thing only, to go catch Kate Matherly and win this moto. Kudos to him for giving us a show for it, because he is flying around this track right now. Look at him laying into that inside rut. He's carrying a decent amount of speed up the hill. Got it down under 6 seconds now. Squares off that corner to get back to the inside before the sky shot. And Matherly has just got to be like, what do I do, man? I'm doing good lap times. He's faster than just about everybody else inside of the top 10. But this seems like a freight train that can only stop itself, really. And Seth Carr, so long as he stays on 2 wheels, might be reeling in Matherly in the next couple of laps here. Down to under 5 seconds. This is going to be another burner of a lap time right here. Let's see what Matherly lays in. He is trying desperately to respond. He goes 2:17.2. It's his personal best. There's not much more you can ask for. And now we got a 2:14.5 out of Seth Carr. Oh my goodness. The board is lighting up purple for Seth Carr right now. Absolutely flying around this racetrack, going so fast. Again, almost 3 seconds a lap faster than Matherly that time by. The only thing that might be the saving grace for Matherly is he had enough of a gap that he's starting to be able to kind of build steam up towards going that pace. Whereas Carr, it's unsustainable. If he keeps doing these lap times, he's going to have a crash. There's no way. So the gap coming down slowly but surely, and we are probably about a lap and a half and away before this battle materializes once again. We're going to go check out some other battles here soon, I promise. But when the two closest title combatants continue to find each other on the racetrack like this, you have to stick with it until something like that happens. And we just talked about how it was unsustainable. There's the mistake. And Carr is down again. Max Wilczek goes back by. And Carr goes from 3 seconds back to 12. He's got it all to do again. But again, 12 seconds seems like a lot. It's not much when you're gaining 3 seconds a lap and you still have half a moto to figure this thing out. So Matherly back to just clicking his laps off. And Carr back to just trying to rip his way forward. He's going to go by Wilczek right there. And here comes Tharp up. Screw you, trying to close up. Jack Gatlin now into 5th place, as we had already mentioned. Emmanuel Cepeda 6th, Dylan Dallaire 7th, Jax Lindsay 8th, Ryan Chelsea 9th, and Partello 10th. This is probably the best battle on the track right now. 7, 8, 9, 10 going up Screw You in sequence. Jax Lindsay's going for a bit of a ride right there, looping out at the top of the hill. And Chelsea going to have an earful here of Partello trying to get to the outside. So Chelsea's actually trying to get to the inside of Jax Lindsay before it gets too bad there. So these two are having themselves a bit of a duel. Oh, and down is Cepeda on the inside. And is that Dallaire? Yes, it is. Dylan Dallaire also going down from a top 10 position. Lucas Brune's going to go by. He's going to make his way into 10th as Dallaire goes to 11th. Brune and Cepeda now in front of him. Whoa, that's nip and tuck right there as Chelsea gets into the rear tire of Partello and somehow saves it. Jax Lindsay checks up to not run into the back of him, and Parlo squeaks his way all the way to 6th. And remember, he was about 10th, I think, half a lap ago. Next up for him will be trying to run down Jack Gatland. And then Tharp, quiet 4th. And Carr is back on his business again. Down to 8.5 already. And this, based on the sector times already, seems like it's going to be a new fastest lap of the race once again. Oh, little almost loop out coming out of Screw You. Just kind of studying some of the lines that he was taking there for a minute and seeing how he's arcing these corners. Pretty standard, kind of going to the main spots, but also I liked what he did going down Screw You, where he kind of almost weaved through some of the bumps to get to a better angle for the corner. It's that advanced skill set that I just don't really possess in this game anymore, that mesmerizes me every time I go on board with these guys and see what they're doing. So Matherly checks in right now at a 2:19.4. He's starting to kind of slow down a little bit, but I think the track might be slowing down too. Let's see what Seth Carr says about it. A little slower than his best, 2:15.6, but still almost 4 whole seconds faster. And we're back to the 6.5 second gap. I mean, that's going to materialize soon. Oh, we got a change for 3rd. Wilczek allowed Tharp by. So Tharp is up into a podium position. Oh, Jack Gatlin down out of 5th. Ryan Chowsey, Partolo goes by. Jax Lindsay goes by. Partolo and Chowsey are actually about to have a nice duel coming out of Gravity Cavity. And Chowsey is going to hold serve in the top 5, at least for the moment. Gatlin slips back to 8th now behind Jax Lindsay, but still ahead of Dylan Delaire, Lucas Brune. Also in the mix. Where is Maverick Snyder now? Snyder's still 23rd. Might not even score points this moto. It's been a rough one for the man who ran 2nd the entire first moto. Not what he was hoping for at all, for sure. Ooh, little tire tap right there for Partolo. This is a good fight, though, between these two. Different variations of skill set. Chowsey has been fast, but really, actually, his best skill set of late seems to be that the consistency has been working in his favor, and Partolo is very fast, but maybe not as consistent. So I think Partolo is going to push up to him, and then they might push each other into a bit of a different dimension for both of them. Both of them funneling to that middle rut at the bottom of the hill, and you can see the two different approaches to it. Chowsey sideways and down at the top of Screw You. And that one looked like it was coming. Dang, first moto, the first time Cade hasn't podiumed a moto since Hangtown Moto 1. Unbelievable. That's actually kind of crazy. Looks like Carr may have gone down again, just laid in another 225. 225.7. So yeah, Matherly is, it seems like, playing this thing the right way. You know, we were talking about Seth Carr and the speed that he kept having to run him down, but we also talked about the struggles in doing that consistently. Whereas Matherly's found this sweet spot where he can do 217s, 218s kind of on repeat. And it's kind of forced Carr's hand because he's had to run 215s, 214s to run him down. But that 217 is no slouch. There's a lot of people in this race that don't even have 217s as their best lap, and Matherly's doing it consistently. So if Seth Carr is going to win this moto, it seems like it is going to have to be from a Cade Matherly mistake, and he is starting to actually pick it up a little bit right now. It seems like he's finding his flow. Wilczek versus Tharp, and Tharp goes over the bars. Max Wilczek has taken over third place. Tharp, a big one through the front door right there. And this is a pretty good ride for Wilczek, who is 8th in the first moto. The overalls are going to be a little bit up and down to calculate, I feel like. Oh, Wilczek went down, though, because here comes Tharp back on his heels, and Partelo's now kind of knocking on the door as well. All three of them in the air at the same time over the sky shot. So through the top of the hill and then back down Screw You they go. They're separated by no more than about 2.5 to 3 seconds, and it's coming down because Partelo seems to be the fastest of the group. Tharp is trying to get up there and mix it up with Wilczek for third. Wilczek just seems like he has done a pretty good job at responding to these little advances that each of these guys are kind of making, and Tharp right there thought he was going to show him a nose, and Wilczek just swooped into the corner to take the main line that he was comfortable with there. Ooh, went for a little bit of a ride there, though. And now, with a head of steam coming down the hill, here's Tharp and Partelo. The teammates to the inside. Tharp forces the move and gets by Max Wilczek, third place on the racetrack. Now Partelo's turn. Let's see if the inside works right here. Gets the rut nicely. Trying the crossover and got it. Just barely snuck into that next rut. Didn't bounce out awkwardly or anything. Nicely done in the end. That's a good move by the teammates. Kind of masterfully working their way around. We've got a change for the lead. Seth Carr is out front. Cade Matherly, we just talked about it a lap ago. Consistency was what was killing Seth Carr, and Matherly had his worst lap of the race, a 2:20.3, and then followed it up with his first fall-off crash, I think since the first lap, or maybe of the whole race, and now he's got Seth Carr in front of him, and he's got to do the chasing in this one. Now this is where the roles are reversed here. Thus far, Carr has proven time and time again he can just start reeling in Matherly on a whim, but it's the crashes when he starts going that speed that have really hampered him. Matherly has been leading this whole time, so we don't know what it's going to be like for him coming from this position. And he's trying some different lines, just trying to find a couple opportunities though so far that are working out for him. Gap is staying pretty stationary right now, and it does seem to me like Matherly's got a bit more aggression in him than he had thus far, and it's down to 1.4. He might be closing this gap up, though he goes for a bit of a ride after the finish line jump right there. Carr is going to hit lap traffic first, and that's always a tough thing as well. 4 minutes and 2 laps left to go. Carr blows the inside rut and almost goes off the bike. Matherly's back in the race lead. All right, now we have got ourselves a race. Lap traffic moves aside, very nicely done. Now it's on Carr again to go back to closing the gap down. Launching down to the outside. Ooh, Matherly goes for a bit of a ride off the track. Got to try to rejoin and not get caught up with lap traffic there. And now Carr's on him again. This is going to be a barn burner, folks. 3 minutes plus 2 laps to decide this moto victory. Seth Carr is going to win the overall as it runs, but Matherly is just desperate to stop the bleeding. It had ballooned out to 28 points after that first moto win for Carr. If it ends right now, it would be 25 points with four motos still to run. down to the sky shot. One more time. And Carr looks like he's still feeling a bit loose there behind him, throwing a nice whip. Not close enough yet to think about an attack, but then when you get there as well, where is Carr a bit faster? Let's try to dissect these two and see where they're at. Matherly's switched up to this inside rut right here, and he just, I don't think, gets as good of an exit up Screw You. That's allowing Carr back a bit closer. Good defensive line, but then it just opens you up to vulnerability at the top of the hill. Ooh, this is good, folks. Oh, I love this stuff when these two guys at the top of their game get on it and start battling each other for the race lead. Oh, mistake for Carr into the tough block. What a save. What a save that was right there. And now Carr's kind of bouncing awkwardly through that inside rut. Matherly back on his pace a little bit. 219 flat to 222 flat out of Seth Carr. And another little bit of a mistake right there. They have Evan Holt right behind them a lap down. In fact, Holtzy is in 28th place. So not even in the points. So this kind of through gravity cavity in the sections before and after it. Matherly seems to be a bit better than Seth Carr. But that doesn't necessarily mean that Carr can't make the advantage back and pass him through there. Just at the moment, Matherly's got a bit of an upper hand. And now as we work our way to the very bottom and the back of the racetrack, Matherly has got himself established a bit of a 2-second advantage now. So Carr not able to make it work just yet. Up to the big step up. And heading towards the sky shot. Time will expire this time by. We are going to have the 2-lap board displayed next time through. Oh, and Seth Carr is down in second. Huge crash before the sky shot. Looks like he maybe caught the rut wrong heading up to the jump, and that one was a lengthy fall-off crash. He's even got to back up and slowly go up the face of the sky shot. So he goes from right behind him to 13 seconds back of him, 14 seconds back. That might be the longest fall-off crash of the year. And Matherly can breathe a sigh of relief again. But it's not over yet. 2 laps to go, and Matherly has to be picture perfect. Max Wilczek has gotten back through on Tharp. So Tharp and Wilczek have just been going back and forth the entire race. And now it's Wilczek's turn to hold on to third. Let's see if he can keep it alive with 2.5 laps still to go. And then behind them, Partillo now inside the top 5 at the bottom of the hill. Jack Gatlin's 6th. Ryan Chelsea right there is in 7th. Colin Holden just behind them in P8. Ben Nerona is in 9th, and his buddy T. Valentine is in chat letting us know that this is a hell of a comeback ride. I did not see him down in 39th on the first lap, but all the way back to 9th. Pretty good job so far of getting into this position in the first place, and he's now in 8th. He just got by Colin Holden. I was just about to say that it's kind of funny that in the first moto, he was in the mix the whole way through and got 9th. Now this moto came from dead last, and he's 9th again, so just hovering around kind of that magnetic position for him today. Here's Partillo going to work on Max Wilczek for 4th. Trying to make it a Panini 2-3-4 on the racetrack. Panini boys have been cooking in the second half of this season. Ooh, Wilczek went for a ride. That was Tharp. That was Tharp off the track. And now this looks like a repeat again. Wilczek, Tharp, and Partillo for 3rd. Oh, Wilczek gets landed on. And down goes Partillo with Wilczek. Oh no, Dylan Dallaire. His PC just crashed while he was running in 6th. Where is his rider at? Evan Holt is out of this race. Oh, Dylan. How does your PC crash whipping the sky shot? That might be the most gnarliest PC crash of all time. Like, this could be like a framed picture of how good the whip was being thrown right here, and your PC crashed whipping this guy shot. That's a new one. I've never seen that in Sim. But that sucks, man, because it's P6 and then having your PC crash, really the worst time probably. White flag about to come out for this man, Cade Matherly, and he has rebounded with a vengeance. Well, we said it at the start of this moto after he finally got a good start. This is what he needed, man. He needed that start to stop the bleeding on Seth Carr and get a moto win back in the column and just do something to make it so that you put the pressure back on Carr to respond when we go to Budds Creek next week, because Carr's going to win the overall regardless. A 1-2 performance on the day is going to be Matherly's 4-1. And honestly, I don't know what the podiums are going to look like. Might need a little bit of Lane Burke's help here, but kudos to Matherly, because the way that this championship has kind of come down to it at the end, he, like Logan Leitzel or like Alexis Leclerc in the 450 class, could have just said, you know what? Just not my year. Just not going to happen. And especially after that first moto, to see it balloon out over a full moto distance, go from 21 points out to 28. It just, I'm sure, had to be a little demoralizing. And all Matherly did was say, you know what? Gotta do something. I gotta get a good start. I gotta get through the first turn in a better position. And this time he did that. Came through turn 1 and was P2. Wyatt Grant forces his way by to unlap himself. But Matherly's just like, whatever, man. I'm going to go win this race. But P2 off the start. Hung out with the leaders for a little bit. Got into the lead. Then he and Seth Carr went back and forth a little bit. And then from there, it seemed like it was a bit of a wild goose chase. Matherly would lead. Carr would reel him in. Carr would crash. Carr would fall back a little bit again. Matherly would pull the gap out quite large, and then Carr would reel him back in again, and we actually had a real battle for the lead about 3 laps ago. And since then, Carr has crashed twice more, while Matherly has just continued to be the steady, resilient man that he has been throughout his entire MX Simulator career to this point. Two turns left to go, and a huge weight lifted off his shoulders. It's not going to be for the overall win, but it's done enough to at least stop the damage thus far. 2 rounds still to go, but this moto win's going to feel like a championship victory in and of itself. Cade Matherly takes Moto 2 here at Unadilla to put the heat back on this man, Seth Carr. He's going to go 1-2 to get the overall win. But now he's got to respond next week. Your Unadilla 250 winner is Seth Carr. 1-2 gets it done. And he'll extend his championship lead by 4 more points when the dust has settled. Austin Partolo survives the chaotic fight for 3rd. Ended up going 17-3 today. Tharp right behind him in 4th. Tharp had a similar day, didn't he? Let's see what Tharp put together in this one. 11-4 for Tharp. Max Wilczek, 8-5 for him. Jack Gatlin. Looks like it's going to be a 6-6 day. Jax Lindsay. Where was he in Moto 1? 35th. So 35th and then getting up into the points in this one's pretty good. Ryan Chowsley up here. I don't think he scored points in the first moto either. Axel Halley, Ben Nerona, Lucas Brune, Race Cobble. So Race Cobble was 3rd in the first moto. He is fighting to get into a spot to maybe still get on the box. But I think he needs to get Brune here to have a shot. Well, actually, Chelsea just went down. This might be a podium. 310. Someone Lane Burke's help. Race Cobble ends up 10th. I don't know if anybody else would have beat him, though. Because Tharp went 11-4. 310 might have gotten a podium. That's crazy. Yes, Cobble does get the podium confirmed by Lane Burks. Seeing some of the other runners coming through. Vanderkoy going at it with Garrett Hollenbeck. And those guys are debating 18th, 17th on the racetrack. So Hollenbeck's going to get some points. That's cool. Good for him. Cody Wells in the points again, both motos. Hashtag I'm new here, which makes it look like it says I'm nowhere almost. It's kind of funny. Tyler Blauer's last points bank position for him. And the last man on the lead lap is Wyatt Grant. Unlapped himself on the last lap, trying to get points, but is not going to get there. Matherly wins the moto. Carr wins the battle to take the Unadilla National with a 1-2 performance. Looking at penalties, Lucas Brune got into 8th, and Cobble drops to 11th on penalties behind Chelsea. But I think that's still enough. I think 311 beats the 11-4. Crazy, crazy stuff in this 250 class. And, man, kudos to these two. They gave us a heck of a race. Matherly versus Seth Carr. Good stuff. And Matherly even checks into the YouTube chat. Finally got a start, man. For real. I think you might have set a single season record for most people passed in this game. And it's not something that you really probably take too much pride in. But, hey, got a moto win finally chalked off. And that is big in at least making this championship go all the way till the final moto of the year. All right, one moto still to run. It's 450 Moto 2, and it's coming at you here in just a moment. Back in studio with you guys. Kellen Brower in the booth, hanging out with the chat room. More and more people starting to head out of here, and I get it. It's getting late. You East Coasters probably heading off, but hey, maybe we'll get a couple of the people that just were racing to drop by and watch the final 450 Moto of the evening. Seth Carr usually drops into the Twitch chat. We'll see if he makes it in here. Tell you guys what happened in 450 Moto 1 while we sit here and wait for just a moment on the server to load up. Tyler Lang took the win from Payson Johnson, Braden Castellaneta, Austin Schaefer, Colby Eagland, Killiam Ortiz, Jeff Cooper, Luke Sullivan, Caleb Hall, and Seth Shirley inside of the top 10. Oh, yeah, Tharp didn't crash on the last lap. Could have gotten third overall. So close, yet so far away. Something is up with your first motos, BT. We got to get that dialed in. I'm going back to the farm with you, and we're figuring this out. Because the first motos have not been really what you've been looking for, but the second motos have been pretty damn solid. I'm not home, so I'm normally just bad. 250 overalls confirmed now, thanks to Lane Burks. Gatland with a 6.6 actually gets a podium? I think. Yeah. Is that math right? Carr 1-2 gets the win. Matherly 4-1 gets second, and we're thinking Gatland with a 6.6 gets third. Over Wilczek with an 8.5 and Cobble with a 3.11. Snyder with a 2.13. He put it in the pewter, so there you go, I guess. Tyler Mack says BT's aura in the second motos is off the charts for real. And Trogman doesn't want any part of that. Not having it. Where's Trogman been, man? He was winning motos like 3 rounds ago, and we haven't seen him. Not even sure if that's actually him in the chat, but if it is, where you at? You're the shining star of the broadcast. Who's going to be on PC for 2025? It sounds like it's going to be 6 riders, ladies and gentlefish. Unless Austin Faulkner doesn't re-sign with the team, but I doubt that's going to happen. I feel like they're going to re-sign him. They're going to find a way. The dude got brain surgery. But should be McAdoo, Kitchen, Marchbanks, Hammaker, Faulkner, Masterpool. Did I say Masterpool already? Steve Math is reporting today Masterpool signed a multi-year deal, I believe, with the team, indoors and out. Adams is after Supercross. Adams is racing Futures. So I guess, yeah, 7 riders outdoors. But to the point that Steve made on Twitter earlier today, sorry, but pretty likely there's not going to be 6 bikes still actively running by the time we get to outdoors next year. Yeah, Adams is doing Ironman, but he's not going pro. It's just to do Ironman. I know it's the pro debut, but I hate saying he's going pro when he's really just doing Ironman and then probably doing Minios and racing Futures. So I don't really call that going pro, but I digress. All right, final moto of the evening, 450 Moto 2 set and ready to go. Overall win is on the table for the taking. Who gets it? Let's find out. Braden Carter trying to get from that middle gate alongside Alexis Leclerc way out there. B-Lars, he gets off the gate well. Let's find out who gets to the first turn first. We're off and running, brought to you by the Design Lab Co. Is Hubbard in? Hubbard made his way into this moto, and it was a Honda that got there first. I think it was Leclerc, took out a lot of the field with him, and Hayden Stevenson picks up the Design Lab Co. whole shot. It is Hubbard back in the motos. This time he's out of the first turn in second. Will now third. B-Lars fourth. Colby Eaglin rounds out the top 5. Tons of guys going down, but they're all chasing Hayden Stevenson. Nexus back triumph. Hashtag for Sully out in the race lead. Hubbard right there in tow right behind him. Looks like Leclerc and Payson Johnson 30th and 31st at the end of the official timing lap or timing loop on lap number 1. And Seth Shirley 26th. Tyler Lang, your Moto 1 winner, 16th. This is a door of opportunity flung wide open for a lot of these guys out front. See what they're able to do with some early pace as Hubbard comes under attack. Will now trying to take over second. It looked like now is able to get to that inside, but not able to make the pass. Hubbard scrubs back across the track in front of him. Oh, Stevenson's down with the lead. Where is he? He is just sitting there on the track. I can't lock onto him for some reason. There he is. Okay. Hayden Stevenson goes from the lead back to 14th. A lot of guys go by. There's T-Lang, our Moto 1 winner. Got to get the dualies cam going. B-Lars is going to lead us in. Come on, B-Lars. Get upside down for us, baby. We got to see it. Yacht. Oh, Oppo City. Eaglin's upside down backwards too. Devin Davis, a bike hump right there. Everyone kicking it out to the right. Nice whips. Aplenty. These guys are having a day out here. Someone just rolling across the jump. That was Frank Jackson. Will now. I guess someone must have gone down. Payson Johnson was upside down right there. That was nice. Oh, dualies. Mid-pack dualies. Leclerc back here. Oh, Braden Carter. Jeez, Jacob Hubbard. Woo! Seth Shirley getting turned. These guys are having a rough start to their moto, and they're still going upside down for us. I love to see it. That was crazy. That was some of the best in the business. Upside down and backwards right there on the first lap of the race in like 30th place. Seth Shirley's literally 29th. That was sick. All right, B-Lars coming down. Let's see if he leads the lap here at Unadilla. Trying to hold off Colby Eagland. And he does. So Brandon Larson leads on to lap number 3. Eagland right behind him. Devin Davis, Jeff Cooper, Bodie Parker, Jack Haley, Kayla Hall, Teddy Lehman, Tyler Lang, and Hayden Stevenson inside of the top 10. Johnson already up to 12th. Leclerc 18th, but going backwards. Looks like he may have had a couple of mistakes. Seth Shirley now with Braden Carter in 23rd and 24th respectively. Oh, a little mistake. B-Lars tucks the front end, and Eagland goes to the lead. That was just a little push of the front over that rut because he just slid over it and then stopped on the next one. But now it is Eagland's turn to try to control this thing from the point. 5th in the first moto, now leads the second moto here. Gonna need some things to fall his way to win the overall, but a moto win could be huge for him because he did lose a handful of points to Payson Johnson in the first moto. Second back to fifth, I believe, is a 6-point swing. Let me think. Fifth is 16, so it's actually, yeah, 6 points. 6-point swing. So he would have went, oh my gosh, the Oppo whips are insane right now out of Colby Eagland. But he would have went from 53 back to 59 back of Payson Johnson after the first moto. Tyler Lang went from 51 back to 48 back. So Eagland just trying to pull some points back in his fight for second in the championship against Tyler Lang. Brandon Larson going to have Jeff Cooper closing up on him soon. Remember, Jeff Cooper found himself in a heated battle for third for much of the first moto. Ended up in seventh. Now in third again, trying to get into second, bringing Bodie Parker with him. And Bodie Parker, for those of you who were not with us for the Grand Prix rebroadcast yesterday from France, led a huge majority of the second moto in the MXGP Race 2. Did not end up winning it, but boy, oh boy, did he look good. And this could be a golden opportunity for him to show what he's worth here in the RF National competition. Trying to go with his teammate Cooper just in front of him as they both work their way around B-Lars in the second and third, respectively. Yeah, Jack, I think it was P3 overall for you. 6-6 for third. I don't think I've ever seen that. That might be... You didn't top 5 a single moto and get on the podium overall. I don't think I've ever seen that. I genuinely don't. So Parker now in front of Larson. Davis rounds out the top 5. Here's Stevenson, Haley, and Lang now finding his way forward. Teddy Lehman right there behind Caleb Hall, Pachone, Jackson, and Payson Johnson trying to get around a lot of these guys. Don't know which battle to watch. There's 4 riders here going at it, or 3 riders battling for second. Well, there's even a couple guys still battling right in front of them. Eddie Lehman trying to hold off Caleb Hall, Frank Jackson, Pachone, and Payson. Ooh, look at that jump from Frank Jackson to the top of the hill. Just let it eat a little bit longer and jumps over Teddy Lehman to get the spot. Goes into P9 right there. That was a slick little move. Looks like Lang has caught the back of this crazy group, Jeff Cooper. So Jeff Cooper goes from second back to this battle with Stevenson, Jack Haley right there in the mix as well. Finally have some Jack Haley skins, and I'm happy about it. Oh, look at this. 3 wide at the top of Screw You. Almost 4 wide with Lang just bringing up Caboose right there. He's going to get by Haley. Going to set his sights on Stevenson in this corner. Let's see if he can get there. Stevenson trying to force the issue back to the inside. Neither of them get very good runs out of that corner, but Stevenson does hold Lang at bay for the time being. New fastest lap of the race for your race leader, Colby Eagland, 2:14.093. Is that Lang going down? It was. Lang down. That was an awkward spot. At the top of the hill right there, coming into the Little Dipper before Gravity Cavity. It's like Hubbard lined up to try to hole shot and then disconnected after a lap or 2. Not in this race anymore, though, but I respect it. I respect the hole shot send. Here is our race leader, Colby Eagland, 8 minutes into this race, 22 minutes plus 2 laps still to go. And he is just trying to put it on cruise control at the front. Hubbard. Well, I was going for the whole shot. I mean, we know. So, I get it. Wyatt Plays says, I'm so done with Sim. But the first moto was so good, though, Sunshine. Heyo! Welcome, Gatlin Plays, to the Members Lounge. He subbed up with his Prime sub. Thank you so much for the support. Whoa, holy smokes. Navo. Good Lord, sir. Thank you so much for the 5 tier 1 subs, my friend. Welcome to the Members Lounge. Viges, Trogmania, Salad Ice, Dirt Track, and Logmeister 3. Well done. Very nice of you, Navos. Thanks so much for the support. Navo's not messing around, man. Always crushing it with his commentary on the ARL MX Bike streams. I'm so freaking late to watch, but I'm here. It's all that matters, man. You made it. And we appreciate you. Definitely W Wavo. Not a Navo, he's a Wavo. Devin Davis holding Jeff Cooper right behind him in a battle for 4th. Front 3 have kind of separated themselves, but this battle 4, 5, 6 is pretty good. Jeff Cooper has pressure from behind with Hayden Stevenson, so he's in a bit of a sandwich here, but he actually looks like he's a bit of the aggressor when it comes to battling Devin Davis. But as soon as I say that, it looks like Stevenson closed up, and now a mistake from Cooper. Stevenson had to jump out of that inside rut to the outside. Oh, yeah, the dad life. It'll get to you, man. Congrats, though. I think that's pretty new as Jeff Cooper goes down. Can't remember, but either way, hopefully you're enjoying the dad life. And love you too, man. Love the support. So Jeff Cooper went down and Devin Davis is able to get away scot-free. T-Lang laid in the new fastest lap of the race at a 2:13.3. I think he's going one direction only, and that's to the front. Mason Johnson is 5 seconds behind him. He went 2:13.7. He's trying to match him. And somehow, some way, Johnson is being out-Johnsoned right now. Did I miss Beast subbing? I didn't see the Speed sub. My apologies. 9 months. Nice. Yeah, I am, I guess I'm almost, let's see, about 2.5 months away from meeting my second. Very excited about that. And the missus is holding up well, but she's rather tired. So hope your wife is doing well with recovery and everything's gone well for the first year. Definitely remember a lot of ups and downs year one with the baby, but gosh, it's so fun. Dad life rocks. Am I naming him after Moto like the dogs? We are going with a fairly normal name, I would say. It's, my wife picked it. Won't spoil it just yet, but we have it picked for sure. To Anthony. Diquarius. Braxton. Ayo, Wyatt G271 subbing a tier 1 to complete the hype train. It's raining down in the chat room right now. Get those hype levels at a maximum. Everyone who's subbed, can we get a fat in chat? Everyone got the fat emoji now who's subbed up? I think you should all have it. I don't remember what tier I put it at. But we love having a fat in chat. Because I just saw fat over the weekend. Hung out with the man, the myth, the legend, Mark Zeidler himself. Not that fat dork. There we go. Navo's got it. Fat in chat. For those of you who don't know, Fat3, Mark Zeidler, he is on quite a few tracks in this game. I think he's on stock tracks. I can't remember if JLV updated it to have his face on it, but yeah, Mark Zeidler, the Fat3 emoji right there. Yeah, it's on a lot of old Supercross tracks, a lot of old national tracks. It might still be in a Race Factory file. But yeah, that's crazy. Oh, hey, there you go. Navo resubbing up for his 5th month. Appreciate you, boss. Said odd this didn't pop up with the other subs. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it just, I saw your name pop up and I was like, wait, who just gifted all these subs? But appreciate you, man. Always love the support. And great to see you as well. Been watching a few of the broadcasts. Try to when I can. It's been really busy time for me. I got some news to share soon. Haven't shared it yet, but yeah, the ARL broadcast, when I do get a chance to watch them, always look fire. You do a great job with that over there, so appreciate the support. Hey, and Jay Perry with a sub on Prime as well. Say my name, Daddy Kellen, is what he says. If that's Jack Perry, can we start the GoFundMe to get you unbanned from the forums yet? It's ridiculous. How long has it been going? Decade? What's it going to take, JLV? How many tracks is he going to release? Leave me banned. I'm just sick of seeing Tyron Tomich release tracks, and I think it's him. All right, let's get back to actually calling a race here, because Payson and Lang have kind of started barking together a little bit. Johnson laying down a 2:13.8, Lang 2:15.1. They are working their way up together to try to get closer to Bodie Parker and Colby Eaglin. Parker's just been hanging out in second. And Eaglin's got himself a 5-second lead as Johnson goes for a little bit of a ride right there. Lang did too, actually. Is that Parker? That is Parker picking it up from a crash before the sky shot. So out of P2 he goes. And allows a lot of these guys to slide through. Johnson and Lang go by. And this is a really good fight for second starting to brew here. I think Parker's not done yet, though. He wants to go back and get in the mix with these guys. He is not afraid of them anymore. Look at Johnson getting this triple. Oh, but it doesn't work this time. A little bit long and swaps out and goes down. It's tricky because jumping all the way to that single off this table is not comfortable. You got to go from here all the way to that notch right there, and it is tiny, man. You got to get it perfect. So he allows Jeff Cooper to go by. Devin Davis went by. Jeff Cooper's trying to get Devin Davis for position here for 6th, and he's got him. Johnson also right there in the mix. Hayden Stevenson into the top 5 sets. Shirley, ayo, look at him cooking up here. Into 4th. He has quietly snuck into the picture here. 10th in the first moto. Goes 2:15.7. He has been putting in some consistently good lap times together. And now he's put his eyes on Bodie Parker up the road as T-Lang moves to 2nd. On-screen celebration? I don't even know what I should do for that. How do I celebrate on-screen? Oh! Lang hung up with a lapped rider. That was a little bit nip and tuck right there, but able to get out of it scot-free and continue on. Don't worry, Jay Perry. I will hydrate, good sir. Thank you for reminding me to do so. So can Lang run down Colby Eaglin? We still have 12 minutes plus 2 laps left to go in this race. And there's certainly some time to potentially do so. Oh, man. Thank you, Navo. Thank you so much for the support, man. 500 biddies. That is so nice, dude. You're awesome. Definitely want to come by and hang out for sure. Might actually reach out to you. I got a potential proposition for you. But thanks so much for all the support tonight, man. Really appreciate it. Chill out. Grab yourself a beverage of your choice, whether it's alcohol or not. You can always have a nice juice or something like that. Honestly, you know what? Having a kid really teaches you that juice boxes kind of slap, honestly. Like, why as adults do we not have juice boxes? We need more of those. I just want to have a good, solid Capri Sun every once in a while. I went to Vegas earlier this year. It's just basically a podcast at this point. And I had an alcoholic juice box kind of thing. It was like a Capri Sun, but alcoholic. Massive. It was like a freaking IV bag with alcohol and juice in it. But it was pretty darn good. Beatbox? I haven't had Beatbox. I don't know what that is. But yeah, this place I went to in Vegas was just some crazy restaurant. It's at, what's it called? Area 18 or whatever it is in Vegas. The 4-time SX champ in P24 is a man that doesn't know how to race outdoors, unfortunately. He's never really been good at it. And we thought he kind of was figuring it out earlier this year, and it turns out, psych, not really having a good time. So now he's just out here, just cruising around. Just did a 2:17.7. Not bad, but still not really what we expect out of him. Braden Carter equals Cooper Webb. I feel like Braden Carter, it's a tough comparison to make, but it's like Braden Carter's like borderline Jeremy McGrath. But McGrath actually did win an outdoor title, but it's like Carter's god tier at SX and then just like Super Weenie Hut Juniors outdoors, so I don't really get it. So Eaglin still got himself a 7.4 second lead on Lang. I'm curious of the lap times now because we got 9 minutes plus 2 laps still to go. Eaglin just laid in a 2:17.2. Lang checks in at a 2:13.43. Johnson had just gone 2:12.1, and he just goes 2:12.4 now behind Seth Shirley. So the 3 fastest riders on the track right now are Lang, Shirley, and Johnson, and they are 2, 4, 5 on the racetrack. Shirley's trying to catch Bodie Parker. Johnson is trying to catch Seth Shirley. And can they equal out by the end of this moto? Because Johnson's got 15 seconds to make up. That's not going to help. That might be the craziest 1080 to death I've ever seen off of a jump face. How does he do that there? Just basically must have caught that rut wrong. Because he did not hit a tough block. He just started spinning in the air. All right, so that's a new one that I haven't seen yet either. I mean, look, we just saw someone go 6.6 for P3 overall in the 250 class tonight, so I guess this is just officially a wacky evening, but it's not a full moon. In fact, isn't the moon right now basically looking like a toenail? It's like barely a sliver. Look at Seth Shirley to the outside of Bodie Parker coming to the sky shot. Got him. Do we get dualies? Oh, dualies! Big ones. We like the big ones around here. You get what I mean? Like a toenail clipping, you dork. All right, Shirley gets by Parker. Parker tries to fight back, but Shirley's got some clean air now, and so he is running some ridiculous laps. T-Lang is running some ridiculous laps, and this is building into a bit of a crescendo for this race win. Yes, we know. We all know SMXcom loves... we know SMXcom knows that I love the big ones. Yeah. Would people be interested, by the way, in a live podcast? I'm thinking of launching the Start Your Systems podcast, which is just like a BS hour with some people. But would you guys like to be live streamed and then chat with us and interact? All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Stay tuned. 4:30 a.m. beer open for the podium. Jack Gatlin. Hell yeah, moto and chill all day. All right, Eaglin's got himself a 4.5 second lead. Lang has got it down another 2.5 seconds that last time by. And Seth Shirley's only 9 seconds back of the race lead. So, we have got something brewing here for this moto victory. And we still have plenty of time. You take a look at that clock in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. You'll see some 5.5 minutes plus still to go. The battle for third right now? Oh, yeah. Parker's still right on Shirley. Jeez, I didn't even realize he was hanging out right behind him. I thought Shirley had inched away. Is that Lang down? It is. Tyler Lang goes down, and these guys throw dualies again. So now this has turned into the battle for second in a hurry. And Parker, whoo, what a save. Makes some sweet contact with that SpongeBob on the inside right there, but doesn't lose too much time in the end. And now Shirley has himself a little bit of breathing room. 7.9 seconds, and suddenly Shirley is the man on the move trying to run down Colby Eagland. It's weird because Eagland's not going slow, just like it was with Matherly versus Seth Carr. Matherly wasn't going slow. It's just that these guys are laying down a blistering pace. And, Payson even got by T-Lang as well. That's tough. That is tough right there because Lang was set to make up some pretty decent points. This lap by Payson right now might be ludicrous. 2:12.125 his personal best. And the speed in which he just went through those couple corners is crazy. What is this about to be? 2:11! 2:11.1 Payson Johnson. This man ain't from Earth. This man is from another planet, my dear friends. I don't even want to, click off him yet because I feel like he's about to just keep this stupidity rolling. For reference, everybody else on the track right now is 2:14 or above, and almost everybody else is actually 2:20 or above. So he basically just went 9 seconds faster than pretty much everybody on the track. And also for reference, his 2:12.1 was the fastest lap ever done on this track. His 2:11.1 is 1.2 seconds faster than the fastest qualifying time. He's now set a new track record twice this moto. Unreal what this guy can do on an MX Simulator dirt bike. I need it, honestly, once in a while, it would be nice if Payson did a hand cam so we could see what he's doing on the joysticks. And I know that sounds way too sexual, but I just want to see what he's even doing to make this happen. Shirley's got it down to 6.2 to Eagland, and Bodie Parker is still hanging tough with him. Johnson's going 5 seconds a lap faster than Eagland out front, and he's 14 seconds back with probably 4 laps to go. So if he just keeps doing this, I don't know, sky's the limit, maybe? Yeah, I'm off the hook, but I've already made it to SMX Come on Instagram, so look, night's been made, honestly. We're solid at that point. All right, so what does he follow up with this time through? It's probably going to be something stupid like a 2:12.5 or something like that. It does make a pretty costly mistake in this last turn. 2:13.4. It probably was 2:12.5 until he made that mistake. Parker 3 seconds back. Shirley 6 seconds back. Down to 4.9. Eagland is maybe starting to sweat this thing out a little bit. He's had the lead for a long time. But it might come unglued here. So Johnson, 2.4, doesn't beat a 5.1, and Lang on a 1.5 is actually tying Eagland. Eagland is in a spot to win the overall right now with a 5.1 score on the day. Oh, Johnson's up to third. Bodie Parker went down, and Lang is going to try to close up on him to secure the overall. Johnson down again. Johnson had gotten it to 10 seconds back. What would have been if we could see how that played out. But Bodie Parker is going to go by back into third. Johnson and then Lang, not too far behind that, is going to settle in to close up on this battle. 4.4 seconds between Colby Eaglin and Seth Shirley out front. So, look, I mean, there's still an opportunity if Shirley and Eaglin get together that all of these guys come roaring back into the picture for a potential moto win. Time, time, it's going to be close, actually, for time expiring. We're down to 25 seconds, and these guys are coming out of screw you. I don't think they're going to get back there. Not from here. It's not 20 seconds to the exit of gravity cavity. So 2-lap board is about to come out. Shirley's got this down to 3 seconds. Johnson's trying to get Parker. All the while, Shirley is just chunking time away now. And Lane Burks, calling Lane Burks. Is this Seth Shirley's first career moto win, potentially? On a 450. Down to 2.2. This lap is actually about to be a freaking steamer. Stanley Steamer is your carpet cleaner. And into the gully, he is going to go 2:14.7. It's not the fastest lap, but it is almost 4 seconds faster than the race leader. And confirmed, Lane Burke says it would be Seth Shirley's first career 450 moto victory. Eaglin's got a handful. He knows what it feels like to win one of these things. So he also knows maybe how to handle the pressure. But Shirley, one of the best to ever do it on a 250 in this game, finally coming into his own a little bit of late on a 450. And that gap has almost disappeared. We've been waiting for this the entire time, and 2 laps to go in Unadilla has finally provided us with a battle for the win between Colby Eaglin and Seth Shirley. Johnson 24 seconds back. Lang right on his heels in fourth now. Oh, man, Seth wants this bad. He wants it so bad. Eaglin is just hoping that the big mistake comes soon enough. Whoa, and it's Eaglin with the mistake. He slides out. Kind of goes over that hill, nose high, and Seth Shirley takes the lead and then barrel rolls off the track. He stays on 2 wheels, but that's a huge time loss right there. Don't get landed on. So Eaglin remounts as the leader, 3.2 seconds now the gap. Lang and Johnson are having some fisticuffs back here, and they get together, and Johnson's down. Bodie Parker's going to go by. We switch back to him just in time to see the end of that as Leclerc is in P6. Bodie Parker up into fourth. Lang now third, all by his lonesome. And now can Seth Shirley close down 2.9 seconds. Well, 3 exactly seconds basically with really just about a lap left to go. Eaglin has cleared lap traffic, gets by Braden Carter. So does Carter get out of the way and let this thing materialize? Let's see. The champion that he is, he's going to just crash his way out of the way. So here we go. 1 lap to go at Unadilla. Can Colby Eaglin secure this win, or can Seth Shirley get his elusive first career 450 moto victory? Neither of them are likely to win the overall. It's this man's for the taking with a 1-3 performance. But this moto win is dangling in front of them. They desperately want it. Can they go get it? Let's find out. That gap is once again just inching down. 2.3, 2.1 now between them. And Shirley's just got the carrot right in front of him. Different line options as well. And that one's going to gain Shirley some more time. Down to 1.6. To the top of the hill. Just about halfway through the lap now. And it might come down to a Hail Mary attempt. Shirley almost goes through the front door. He likes bouncing to this inside line and kind of hopping over the ruts. And it's getting close again. Less than a second between them. This is where Eaglin crashed last time by. He takes the safe line and goes to the outside. This is where Shirley almost crashed last time by. And now he's on him. into the sky shot. Dualies for the race lead on the final lap in 450 Moto 2. Shirley shows a nose down the inside. Eaglin cuts it back off to hold position going up the hill. Into Screw You. Who's going to get the advantage at the bottom of the hill? It's all about driving back out of Screw You. Shirley to the inside for the race lead is going to get there. Eaglin powers back up alongside of him. They're nearly rubbing number plates at the top of the hill, and Eaglin pushes Shirley out off the track. Shirley goes wide, comes back on, and Eaglin's got an advantage. Shirley's going to give it one last-ditch effort with 3 corners to go, as Eaglin might have just enough time in hand to hold this thing all the way to the checkered flag. Look at Shirley, the speed that he's carrying into this corner. He wants it badly. He swings out of the corner. Eaglin's going to try to defend the inside into Gravity Cavity. Final turn of the moto, and Shirley goes down. Colby Eaglin's going to win 450 Moto 2 at Unadilla. Unbelievable push. And Shirley gave it every single thing he had and is going to fall through to finish second. But at the end of it all, it's going to be this man who raises the trophy at the end of the day. He wins the first moto. He finishes on the box in Moto 2. Tyler Lang wins the Unadilla National in MX Simulator and gains more valuable championship points in his favor. Leclerc even got by Johnson into the top 5. Johnson goes all the way back to 6th. So I believe that is actually going to be a pretty monumental 5-point swing in this moto alone, after it was a 3-point swing in Moto 1, so 8 points gained. He goes from 51 back to 43 back as Johnson kind of bounces his way in. But he's going to end up in 6th in this moto as Leclerc returns from the sidelines to finish up inside the top 5 in Moto 2. Devin Davis, a very solid performance for the KG veteran, gets 7th. Caleb Hall right behind him in 8th, and Frank Jackson coming to the line. Looks like he'll pick up 9th. Jeff Cooper, a solid day, 7:10 for the Yogi Designs Yamaha rider. He'll end up in P10 in this one. Jack Haley, former series champion, ends up in 11th, just ahead of Braden Castellaneta. Teddy Lehman, a very strong performance in 13th. Killian Ortiz, 14th here. Brandon Larson, 15th, just ahead of Blake O'Brien. Joseph Pilsner, Aiden Stevenson. Luke Sullivan, back from missing a lot of time after getting injured in a car crash, is now going to score points in both motos in this one, I believe. Yeah, 8th in the first moto, 19th in this one. Probably would have preferred a better second moto, but points is quite a big one. And Kyle Boardman was the last guy on the lead lap. He's going to finish, 20th no matter what. Tanner Rogers, Rockefeller Fowler, William St. Laurent is back. I didn't even notice that. Zach Fisher, Braden Carter, Novak, Stubbs, Schaefer, Pachone, Cocroft, George, now Hubbard, and C. Coop were the guys that raced in this one. Whew, what a race. What a moto here at Unadilla we just had. And cut shouldn't change it. Everyone was pretty spread apart after that Seth Shirley crash. 2:14.09, the best time for Eaglin, but he didn't need the 2:12s, but he just threw an absolutely filthy Oppo whip right there. And positions hold true. Eaglin wins Moto 2. T-Lang picks up the dub here at Unadilla. Good stuff all around, and a fantastic race put on by these guys in 450 Moto number 2. And that's going to do it for us here tonight. Wrapping up coverage here at round 9 of the 2024 RaceFactory Gaming National Championship live here on Start Your Systems TV. Big shout out to everybody who tuned in tonight. There was a lot of you guys chatting late in the evening. And hey, shout out right here at the end, Navo dropping in another, I think that's 1,000 bits. Appreciate it, man. You are killing it tonight with the subathon, and we got the hype train going. The bits are rolling in. Honestly, the support is amazing from you guys every single week, and I love it so much. Love coming and broadcasting these races, even doing it by myself for, what are we at now? 3 hours and 16 minutes. Crazy stuff. Jack Gatlin's stoked. He got on the podium. He's cracking beers at 4:30 a.m. in the UK. And yeah, we just had a grand old time here tonight. Second 450 moto absolutely delivered. Congratulations to Tyler Lang and Seth Carr winning the overalls here tonight. But also congratulations as well to Colby Eaglin and Cade Matherly for winning some motos to make things interesting. We had 4 different moto winners. And Unadilla delivered. It absolutely delivered in a big way for us here in MX Simulator. So shout out to the RaceFactory Gaming track crew for all the work that they put in. Our overalls are unofficial, but it is going to be T. Lang with a 1-3. Eaglin with a 5-1 gets second. Payson goes 2-6 for third. Seth Shirley 10-2 for fourth. And Braden Castellaneta goes 3-12 for fifth. And that's going to do it for us here tonight at Start Your Systems TV. We'll be back next week for more GPs and round 10 of the National Championship from Budds Creek, so you won't want to miss any of the action. Hopefully you guys will join us then as well. But thanks to RaceFactoryGaming.com for all the work they do, and of course to the Design Lab Co. for backing us on the broadcast this year. And shout out to all of you guys for watching at home as well. We'll see you guys next week for more MX Simulator action. Until then, so long for now.
Bye.